Thank you for joining us here at the Cable Center on the beautiful campus of the University of Denver. I'm Kyle Clark from 9 News, here alongside my colleague Marshall Zellinger. Victor Marks, thank you for your time.
Great to be with you.
So you have agreed to debate your Republican opponents on 9 News next week, and that discussion is going to focus on policy. Our conversation here is going to talk about your backgrounds and your qualification.
Great.
Your claim that your abusive stepfather forced you to kill a man when you were 7 years old, is that the only person you've ever killed?
Well, I would say as a child, yes.
You perform exorcisms, commanding demons to come out of people. Can you explain to me how that works?
When you say I perform exorcisms.
Yeah. You described yourself as a quote-unquote reluctant exorcist.
Right.
Yeah. Describe to me how your exorcisms work when you command demons out.
Well, that's a joke, the way I say that. But as a follower of Christ and someone who's very familiar with evil, I believe the Word of God.
You claim that you once called in a U.S. military airstrike that killed 70 ISIS fighters. I didn't realize that civilians could essentially facilitate military airstrikes. Could you walk me through how that worked?
No.
Understand that the Democrats right now are a bunch of idiot buffoons. They have the audacity to blame the queers for being too left-wing and insist on shifting their politics right. Now, I ain't saying they's all bad, because that Mom Donnie guy, he's pretty slick, and AOC even endorsed his ass. I know what a wise guy like you can do. Get out there and protest them fascist dingrods. No kings, no problem, am I right? And since you're the musical type, spread the message through your art. Just tell him Vinny sent you.
New York City Democratic mayoral candidate and Muslim Zohran Mamdani has gone over 24 hours since last condemning Hamas, therefore implicating him as a terrorist against Jews. In other news, studies show ethno-states are in and human rights are out. In the interest of providing a fair and balanced debate on this subject, Republican Congressman Fred Dingleberry will be joining us tonight facing off against a homeless man's dog we stole from outside the studio. This has been Modern Journalism.
Turn that shit off. You know I hate the tools over at the Legacy Media. So, you join DSA or what? This country needs it, honestly. The Democrats can't keep polishing the same turd every election. We need socialist solutions to all the fucked up shit going right now. Don't take me for a dumbass, though. I'm not talking third party. It sucks, but we gotta change the Dems into something less shit.
I had hoped that the white moderate would understand that law and order exists for the purpose of establishing justice, and that when they fail in this purpose, they become the dangerously structured dams that block the flow of social progress.
Welcome to America's best radio show, Patriot FM. The only show on air that gives you the truth. And none of that woke, gay, empathy you all despise, because subtlety is for cowards.
OMG, I am so homosexual.
You're listening to the most degenerate music by Jays, Doug, whatever. Bet this idiot can't even define what a woman is. I should call her.
streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, Maine, and plenty more. Your sense of fashion, you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack, 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 Riverboat Jack. That's what I'm talking about. First time singing the songs for Riverboat Jack. Shout out. I don't know what I'm doing really, but I got passion. And that's what it's about. It's all about passion. Swishy streams, all that content is bursting the seams. Politics, Maine, and plenty more. Your sense of fashion, you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack, 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 Riverboat Jack.
Hello, everybody. Hello. How we all doing, folks? How we all doing? Hello, Inquisitor VDM. Hello, Jenny Ah. Hello, Paradox Bingo. Hello, Bisbee. Hello, CMH006. Hello, Ranthior. Hello, Diphallus Spartus. Hello. How you doing? I am certain. Hello, Rusty. Hello, Banana Brains. Hello, Drew Pruitt. Hello, everybody. Hello, Kelsey5 Alive. Hello, Comrade Girl 2018. Hello, Matthew Matthew H. There we go. Hello, Mighty Thagmar. Hello, Queer Devil 666. Hello, Lee Kester. Hello, Slapstick Comedy. Hello, it's me, Caroling. Hello, Quiet Kitsune. Hello, Tristan MB. Hello, Cane Dog Lover. Hello, MP Riser. Hello, Max Danger. Hello, Poke Chip. Hello, Forlorn79. Hello, Jazz Dog, the jazziest dog we know. Hello, Sparrow in the Snow. Hello, Penny Auntie. Hello, Matatiahu. Hello, Raven Laverne. Hello, how we doing, folks? Hello, Von 400. Hello, Sweet Blasphemy. Hello, Smolk Frog. Hello, Ashley. Jay Curtis, thank you for helping to invent the internet. Hello, Robert Adset. Hello, how we doing, Hammock? Hello, how we all doing, folks? Hello, Steel Song. Hello, Chloe Scout. Howdy. So folks, y'all ready to get into it? Also, just as a cheeky FYI, Imogene Olivia has restocked all of its previous stock. So if previously you checked out Imogene Olivia, stuff is back in stock over there. ImogeneOlivia.com, link down in the description. And there may not be like a new color available or something. I don't know. But if there were a new color available, it'd be very comfortable and like kind of soft and wonderful. And you should check it out. Hello, Shadow Talon. Hello. IO needs a good slogan. I mean, I think Io is pretty good, just like right there. Hello, Lefty McLefterson. Found your channel the other night. I love it, so I subscribed. Well, thank you for both subscribing and for coming to the live stream. Welcome. We're just gathering our thoughts before we make the trek into the realms of madness, aka political news. Luscious burlap underwear. Oh god. All right. Let's see. So, folks, I do want to say we have a lot of content lined up for the night, and it's very silly, and it is kind of the prime stuff you all thrive upon, right? So we got some Ben Shapiro discourse. We got some Michael Knowles discourse. We got some Steven Crowder discourse. We've got some Glenn Beck discourse. We've got uh, the Michigan Senate debate between Abdul El Sayed and not Natalie McMorrow. She just dropped out. The other one that's still in the race. And we've got some other stuff too that some curveballs, left curved, right curved, different curves. We also are going to talk about Graham Platner, and we're also going to be talking about the fact that we're back at war with Iran again, I guess. Haley Stevens, the woman who's so unremarkable, I genuinely could not remember her name. Are we getting a call from Mitch McConnell? If I had a Ouija board, I could break out. Maybe we could take it live, but unfortunately, my reception ain't too good. Haley Stevens? You mean the giant bank account in the form of a human being? That Haley Stevens? The Haley Stevens that is so little in front of the public that, like, genuinely she's just a placeholder for lobbying orgs? That Haley Stevens? All right. Steven scares me. She looks like she eats children. Jesus, guys. I don't, that I could maybe recognize whether or not that is devastating, but I genuinely don't remember what she looks like. Wait, she dreams of Israel? I've seen multiple of you say that. Is that like an actual quote? She has a Bobby Hill ass voice. What? Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for this. This is going to be good. Now, I do want to recognize off the top of today's show that the news is really bad. And I understand that people are going to want to take it seriously. I'm still going to be trying to crack jokes because that's like one of the few ways that I make this job bearable for myself. But also, yeah, stress got to me yesterday. I just had like a gigantic stress migraine. It sucked. But I think we're going to have fun today with the subject matter as it is. So, hope you're all getting ready to get buckled up because we're going to be diving into some content. Just had a call with Mitch McConnell. He talked about our family's Akira Kurosawa films. He is Yojimbo. His is Yojimbo. Mine is High and Low. Good films. Good films. Also, who is Haley? I forget too. Maine is on fire. Literally on fire, as in like a wildfire, or like politically on fire. I guess both could be true. Jack opened it on screen. It's legendary. What is this? Why did it didn't
in the United States Congress, I will continue to fight for the people of Israel. I will continue to fight for Israel's existence. Israel comes to me in my dreams. I see Israel's future.
What?
And in the United States Congress, I will continue to...
That's fucking nuts. Also, you guys were not kidding. She sounds exactly like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. That was some cuckoo bananas shit. That's the quote. Jesus Christ. All right. That is insane. What drug that fever dream did I just walk in on? The beginning of our show! That's my ethno state. I don't know you. Oh, you guys are great. You guys are great. Oh god, folks, before we get too deep into the show, do hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and consider supporting the show however you can. Share the stream around, or consider financially supporting the show because you guys make this show possible. I could not do it without you fine folks. So thank you to all of you who make this show and this broadcast possible. Appreciate each and every one of you. Go. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click button. Click button. Click Did I see your DM, Erica? I did not. All right, folks. Y'all ready to jump into some content? William Mattis, thank you for being the first person to support stream
Cast
today.
like button playing a high charisma warlock on Friday.
Hell yeah. Also, we are currently at 368 subs, or their $5 equivalents. And, folks, if we hit 500 subs, just want you all to know, we will be tackling the next What If Alt History video, which is the internet is driving us crazy, and given the fact that he thinks that technology is a literal drug, he might look, all I'm gonna say is he might be cooking on this one. All right, so anyway, get ready for that particular form of brain rot when we have 500. This is just like Mouse Utopia. Exactly. It's just like that time mice invented the internet and then drove one another
If
crazy.
dreams of Israel persist more than 4 hours, seek medical attention immediately.
God, that seems like something directly taken from like the Mandela Catalog or Monument Mythos. Megan Fox's Giant Boobs, thank you for the $5 super chat. And Luna the Pagan, thank you for the gifted membership. Very much appreciated. Folks, thank you for getting the show off on such a BWA full foot. William Mattis, thank you very much again for the $20 super chat. Let's fucking go.
My doggos say hello BTW.
Aw, hello doggos. Oh, I did see that DM, Erica. Yeah. the important thing wasn't that I was putting this guy up as like, oh, this guy's a good guy, but it's important that even like the bigoted pastors are having a schism along the line of like, hey, wait a minute, Christian nationalism is anathema to our religion. So my point still stands, regardless of the fact that that guy fucking sucks. Let's see here, folks. We talking about analog horror as I come in? Always, always, always. All right, here we go. Do. What is stopping some of the Christian right from going along with Christian nationalism? Uh, the fact that, like, on a theological level, they disagree with it. Like, when you're talking about interfaith conflict, like, those doctrinal disputes matter, you know? And that's effectively what's going on between, like, evangelical Christians and Christian nationalists. You know? I'm not. And, like, in the past, that's something that could lead to, like, genuine, actual violence within a group, civil conflict. But that there's less of a chance of that specifically happening in this case. Also, Beer Bash Johnson, thank you very much for the raid, folks. All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Aw, Luna the Pagan, thank you for the flower. See. Fuck yeah, let's go. Hell yeah. All right. So, folks, the CEO of The Federalist went on Megyn Kelly's show the other day, and I just gotta say, said maybe the funniest series of words that I ever could have imagined, and simultaneously, like, this is hilarious, and also just like a really dark sign of the times. Here's exactly what I mean.
I never hear this conversation among people on the left anymore. They are not walking around worrying if somebody who's hopped up on hormones and trans surgery is going to try and kill them. This seems to be a threat that is completely isolated to those of us on the right.
I'm decided to resub just in time to let you know I recently voted in the MN primary.
Hell yeah, Dex! Welcome back. Thank you for voting.
And thank you for bringing it up. I never hear this conversation among people on the left anymore. They are not walking around worrying if somebody who's hopped up on hormones and trans surgery is going to try and kill them. This seems to be a threat that is completely isolated to those of us on the right. And thank you for bringing it up.
You live in terror that someone who's hopped up on hormones and trans surgeries is going to do a murder? Like, one of the least likely to commit violence groups in America? Like, one of the smallest minorities in the country? And you're like, ah, yes, those ones do all the murders. That's insane, right? And, like, part of me is just like, this is genuinely hilarious, right? There's a part of me where I'm like, yeah, this is cuckoo bananas. This is just absolutely, like, bonkers. Like, of course everyone can see that that guy is full of horse shit, right? And then I sit there, right? And then I sit there, and then I realize, uh-oh. Turns out a lot of people in America are just going to go right straight along with that line of thought. They've been so detached from, like, the idea of empirical ideas or empirical data that this guy can just come along, say something absolutely bug fuck insane, and they'll just nod along with it. And that is deeply disturbing, you know? Because like what we're starting to see in far right circles is like a transition from, oh, trans people are just like, you know, mentally ill.
Jack, I live in constant fear that I will be gored through the pelvis by a rabid unicorn. Why do you not respect my totally rational fear?
Paladin Lost, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. And you know, excellent question. I don't know why I don't cater my life around the idea that you may or may not be skewered by a rabid unicorn. But it's difficult because they've been untethered from reality and they're willing to go where this guy wants them to go. If they start mainstreaming these narratives that like, oh, trans people aren't just like mentally ill, they're also incredibly dangerous, and like people who just don't believe in data anymore are just like, yeah, no, that feels true in my gut, I'm not going to double check it. Like, I think a lot of people underestimate how many people exist out there who will never, ever, ever double check information, you know? And that's really fucking dangerous. That's really fucking dangerous. And it's what in turn spreads this bigotry. You know, the more you've disconnected people from you know, a desire to validate information, the more you can just feed them whatever you want and push them towards more violence. Like this, the fact that they are feeling emboldened enough to say this on a mainstream conservative show is disturbing. The fact that the CEO of one of the most prominent conservative, you know, magazines slash websites in the country just straight up saying that he thinks trans people are murderers effectively, and like, you know, he's not going to get any pushback from that among anyone on the right. Like, it's a bit scary as somebody who belongs to this particular minority group. This is terrifying. And so like on the surface, I do want to take a moment and laugh at this like egg-headed moron who's like apparently just pissing himself walking down the street every day because he doesn't know who may or may not be trans murderers. You know? This guy's literally like out there pissing, shitting himself every day because, oh, as one of the leaders of the "we can always tell" crowd, he can't always tell, and that makes existing so terrifying and burdensome for him. That's an insult to eggheads who are proud people. I don't know. It's literally shaped like the objectively perfect shape of an egg. You know?
I never hear this conversation among people on the left anymore. They are not walking around worrying if somebody who's hopped up on hormones and trans surgery is going to try and kill them. This seems to be a threat that is completely isolated to those of us on the right. And thank you for bringing it up.
Your likelihood of being murdered by a non-trans person is exponentially higher. Like, that's the crazy thing is, like, the chances of just being murdered by like a cisgender man is so much higher than being killed by like a trans person. Oh yeah. I'm not worried about getting struck by lightning. I'm worried about getting struck by ball lightning, okay? I'm worried about getting struck by, you know, some will-o'-the-wisps in a maelstrom. You know, that's the real threat when you're talking about lightning strikes. Just like, what are you talking about? That's inane nonsense, sir. But is it higher than a bear mauling him? That I could not say. Get good sleep, Ashley. Sorry for getting started late. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about the fact that, again, this is a crucial component in constructing a world in which everything makes conservatives scared. Every single thing that conservatives don't understand, they're terrified of. And the less they understand the world, the easier their fear is to manipulate. That's why conservative politicians love conservatism. It makes their base easier to control. And then all you have to do is systematically squeeze off the flow of information to them, make them incurious, destroy their educational curriculum. And then they're even easier to control. You can make them afraid of even closer to home things. And truly a terrifying sign of the times when people like this are just able to go out and be completely bigoted.
I'm not afraid of being struck by a lightning. I'm afraid of being killed by a cop as a black person.
That's a very plausible thing that could happen to. And it's a genuine fear, because also you can't really control whether or not lightning is going to strike you. You can make it more or less statistically likely, but you don't have control over other people's actions, and that's what makes other people terrifying. Anyway, if you got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and consider leaving a comment. Let me know what you think about this man who's apparently terrified of trans people. And also, folks, join your local Dems, join your local DSA, get fucking organized, folks, because it is getting to be end of the road for the primary season. We're entering into the general midterm election season, and it is going to take all hands on deck if we want to win the House and the Senate, which is very doable here. But we need everyone to turn out as much as they can. So if you're interested in going to your first meetings and getting trained up and doing door knocking, etc., join our Discord, reach out to GamerG for help organizing with your local DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help organizing with your local Dems, and just bear in mind you can usually attend those meetings virtually if you don't have the ability to attend in person. And last but not least, folks, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy lingerie that's non-tucking. Go check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com. Link down in the description. Let's keep on going. Oof. It would be nice to hold people accountable in the current administration. Yeah, that would be nice, Shadow Kuro. Be nice AF. I watched Platner's whole vid. I regret every single second. Yeah, we'll be taking a look at his vid in a minute. Matthew AH2929, thank you for the $5 Australian. I don't know why it's not reading your comment. That man should be more terrified of frying pans. It's true. He felt personally called out during the "This is your brain on drugs" commercials, didn't he? That's what started this all. Oh, God. All right. Also, you can kind of get a little look. It's a new color available from Imogene Olivia, just as an FYI. That fit is cute. Thank you. I really don't need to see it. I really wanted him to be a better person, but he's trash. True. Is that lavender? Yeah, the color of the bralette is lavender. The color on this camera isn't accurately getting caught, I think, but my shirt is more of a kind of a yellowish cream color. And so it's making this look a little bit whiter than it is, but it's more of a lavender. Maybe a lilac? Yeah, go check it out. ImagineOlivia.com. You should be able to see it on the website at this moment. It looks white. That's, again, because this shirt isn't white, but it looks white on camera. It's actually yellow. That's just my camera, like, reflecting a lot of light. Or the light bouncing off of me being very bright, rather. Yes, contrast. Jack is the true lavender menace. It's true. It is I, Dorothy. I was Dorothy all along. Your studio lights are blowing it out. It's true, but I'm not gonna fiddle with my I'm not gonna fiddle with my lights right now. Da, da, da. A good point was brought up by other left voices about Platner. Are the masses going to be fooled by a former ICE agent decades later on a message of vague slopulism of Medicare for all, ending wars, etc.? Depends on whether or not we win, I guess. You know? Like I guess it kind of depends on the material conditions that we find ourselves in decades hence, you know? Because right now, people in Maine are fucking desperate for somebody who can beat Susan Collins. Right? Like that's they were desperate and they were willing to overlook a lot of red flags in order to pursue like that potential victory. And you know, now they have no idea what the fuck is going to happen. Are your live streams always later in the evening, or is this unusual? I'm usually streaming around this time. My goal is to aim for 8 p.m. Central Time as my start, but unfortunately, my life has a lot of other demands that keep me from starting necessarily on that exact time every day. I will work towards being better at that, but it's difficult. But you know, usually if I can't get an earlier start, I will still be doing a show. It will just be going later. All right. Y'all ready to jump into... We're going to talk about the Iran war, actually. We should ask more specific questions of our candidates. For example, on Palestine, we should ask, what does a free Palestine look to you? Of course, I'm more than open to us bettering our journalism. The issue is most people won't even ask anything uncomfortable. You know, like our hardest hitting interviewers here in the United States are just British interviewers who were brought up to do actual journalism and ask questions, you know? All right, y'all ready to jump into our next segment? Yeah, the best American journalists are all on The View. It's true. Maybe don't recruit people with Nazi tattoos. True. All right. Here we go, folks. So, folks, we have to talk about the fact that the negotiations between the United States and Iran have completely broken down. And as of less than 24 hours ago, Donald Trump has begun striking Iran again, to a large degree. Earlier today, it was reported that we had struck over 90 different targets across Iran, and that Iran has also been responding in kind with escalating trades of attacks. Iran is continuing to target, for example, uh, you know, strategic logistical targets in Bahrain, as well, in particular. And a lot of these sites are, of course, American military bases. Others are, oil infrastructure. And it's when it began, it was kind of like a tit for tat kind of thing, and it has since expanded from that. And people, when it was initially just tit for tat, were hopeful and optimistic that it would essentially just kind of cool off and get back into negotiations. But as we've been noting for quite some time now, these negotiations are going nowhere. Like Donald Trump was just manipulating stock market prices effectively in order to make a quick buck. And this all is, of course, really really bad. Like the president is talking about how, oh, well, it's a good thing we didn't continue fighting with Iran. We only had 4 weeks left of strategic reserves. And now people are panicking that they're going to run out of oil in the United States. And it's like Donald Trump is completely manufacturing this. And it's insane. It's just insane. People are like not able to pay their bills right now, to the degree that a recent study put out today, or not study, poll rather, half of Americans struggle to afford groceries and gas. Exclusive poll finds 57% of polled Americans also believe economy is worsening, and grim portrait of cost of living crisis, according to Harris survey for The Guardian. And I mean, like, it's bad, guys. And all of this to say, this is where people are at right now before they start getting hit by even more gas price hikes coming in the next couple of weeks as a result of being downstream from these bombing exchanges, right? So have grocery prices fallen yet? Nope. Gas prices have leveled off for some people, but their grocery prices are continuing to spike. I've noticed this going out and buying groceries for myself and like my partner, but like it's gotten quite bad. And it's going to go really, really poorly. And Donald Trump doesn't really seem to have a grasp on the reality of what is coming down the pipeline now. But
when we decided to do this, it's called the denuclearization of Iran. We have to do it. We have to have. They're never going to have a nuclear weapon, and they admit they're never going to have it. But they behave badly. Always behave badly. There's something wrong with them. But when we did this, we thought oil would go much higher, and it didn't go very high. And now it's coming way down, and you're going to see oil drop very low. Now maybe we'll do some other things that could lift it a little bit, but I don't think it's going to lift it a lot at all. I think oil is coming down. There's tremendous amounts of oil.
Yeah, bombing them certainly won't bring the price of oil up. No, guys. Bombing them and reclosing the Strait of Hormuz, that will that'll bring prices down. I don't think it'll go up that much. Like, it's crazy. The amount of lies, the amount of just like straight up unreality he hands to his supporters, and they all swallow it. It's crazy. Like, oh, it's not going to go up that much. Like, are you kidding me? He, on the one hand, he says that, and then on the other hand, here is what he said 4 hours ago, according to Al Jazeera. Trump, for each Iranian attack, we're going to hit them 20-1. Keep in mind also that when he says this, we already know that over the course of 8 weeks of bombing Iran, we went through like half of our supply of interceptors. It will take years to manufacture enough to replace the ones that we lost. And if we go and really truly fight this for several more weeks, our ships are going to start getting blown up for real. And like, we can't sustain this, and Iran knows it, and Donald Trump just doesn't seem to care, you know? And, you know, Kuwait and their oil fields are getting hit. Qatar is getting hit. And Donald Trump has just continued to make threats, mostly empty threats toward Iran, basically saying, "Oh, hey, you know, we're just gonna just bomb them. They're gonna be begging for a deal once this is true. But are they even really worthy of a deal?" Just as an FYI, the question of are they even worthy of the deal, that's a real thing he said earlier today. Let's see here. The US president is certainly suggesting that diplomacy is off the table. Trump is saying very clearly that he believed it was a, quote, waste of time, unquote. Everything is so stupid right now. Everything is just so stupid. Yeah, apparently the United States has, as of an hour ago, bombed 90 new targets across Iran. And yeah, there is no sign that this is stopping. There's no sign that this is cooling off. And yeah, this is pretty awful, and again has the potential to really spiral out. And I think that when we're talking about specifically how bad could this be, you know, for us in America, it's going to be limited to economic pain. But the question would be exactly how much are we talking? And I guess one of the things that I would say is that apparently the economic damage is potentially so big that the White House has officially launched a White House owned Freedom Fuel network in order to price control gas to $3.47 per gallon. And like, I just want to point out, right? I just want to point out the amount of shit that Zoran Mamdani got for operating municipal grocery stores, but Donald Trump somehow has this bizarre like franchise gas station deal that there's no way he's not corruptly profiting from, that he's launching 25 of these gas stations, and it's apparently officially endorsed by the White House. And I'm just kind of confused at where are all of these conservatives who've been constantly complaining about state-run corporations, state-run businesses. It's insane. Here's their launch video, by the way, for Freedom Gas.
I thought gas was more expensive, but it's not. So thanks, Trump, for saving me some money.
We're here at the first Freedom Fuel Network gas station right here in Philadelphia, leading the charge to lower gas prices, $3.47. That
I guess we can't
50 cents.
Yeah, okay. All right. So we can't have music on this one, cuz they're just going to play fucking crazy expensive song. Look at all these real Americans getting their gas prices lowered by a state-owned gas franchise. It's Freedom Fuel, everybody. It's the Freedom Fuel Network, endorsed by the White House.
Believe my eyes.
God. Also, you couldn't believe your eyes at gas at $3.40 some cents per gallon. You know, like a dollar more expensive than it used to be. Okay. But yeah, like this is like just straight up, I want to know who's making money off of this. Just straight up, I want to know who's making money off of this. It's so weird. And yeah, all of this, we are throwing hundreds of billions of dollars into a furnace for no reason, so that Donald Trump can launch his PR gas stations that are still somehow a grift. And we're going to be spending hundreds of billions of dollars bombing another country for no reason, because Donald Trump wanted to just bomb places. And meanwhile, again, it's almost impossible to get food stamps now. Like, the requirements have kicked off millions of people from food stamps. We have enough money to burn hundreds of billions of dollars on a pointless conflict on the other side of the world, but we don't have enough money to feed people. We don't have enough money to house people. This is fucking nonsense. Of course we have the money. Of course we have the ability. Of course we have the will to do it. And the reason we don't do it is because it's just not profitable to the wealthiest people who've bought political favor in this country. And it's infuriating. It's infuriating to look day after day at what Donald Trump is doing with all of the posturing around Iran in particular. And it's just like, oh, okay, well, things are escalating again. Oh, the Strait of Hormuz is closed. And guess what? We all know exactly who's to blame for this entire clusterfuck. It's Donald Trump. Donald Trump alone put these wheels in motion. Donald Trump put us in this circumstance, and MAGA put him in charge. And like, there's just no getting around it. There's no getting around that these are the most incompetent, most malicious people ever handed power in the history of the United States of America. The only saving grace is their incompetence, because it gives us a precious window of opportunity to get rid of them. Right? So, folks, there's no good news coming out of Hormuz, all right? Nothing good is happening there right now. Negotiations are basically dead. Donald Trump keeps basically being cute about whether or not the United States will attempt diplomacy again. And yeah, it's all bad. I don't know what else there is to say other than to loudly and repeatedly state, MAGA did this for no reason. We are killing people in Iran right now for no reason other than Donald Trump's ego demanded their deaths. And, like, yes, Von 400, that's what I mean. The strategic reserve that Donald Trump jumped into to try and bail himself out of an economic crisis is almost gone. And when that disappears, we're also going to be out of gas in America, and people are going to start getting fucking livid. And I genuinely don't know where things go after that, other than the entirety of the Donald Trump mythos is built around him being able to create a good economy, or rather a good enough economy for the whitest people in America. And if that bubble becomes well and truly punctured, because like we're at currently like 38% of Republicans thinking that Donald Trump is doing a bad job on the economy. which is very, very high in terms of these things. If we start seeing a majority of Republicans turning on Donald Trump, that's when we start seeing like crazy shit happen. Okay? Because I'm pretty sure that as these campaigns going towards the midterms have progressed, Donald Trump has not made more friends in Congress. And I do think that if they have the opportunity to jettison him and get JD Vance in charge, I think they will. But we'll see. All that being said, folks, if you got anything out of this, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this entire kerfuffle. There's just nothing good that comes out of this at all. Von 400 Democrats are stealing gas. That's why it's so expensive. We're genuinely like maybe 1 week out from that, you know? Are the peasants going to be grabbing pitchforks? Genuinely, I have no idea. It depends on how fast the crisis resolves, you know? It's one of those things where once gas runs out, I think so too does Donald Trump's runway, you know? Like, Donald Trump is only able to do the things he's doing so long as people in rural America don't feel their lives changed all that much. And if they run out of gas, that's the entire, like, guys, if you think you're from like I'm from the suburbs or from like the city or whatever, the idea of this happening may have never occurred to you, but like, if rural areas of the country start having gas shortages, they're gonna fucking lose it.
All of this started because some cowardly fish decided to colonize the land. Stupid walking fish.
It's true. It's true. God. So, yeah. All of this is incredibly bad news for Donald Trump. Obviously, I think this gas station initiative is going to fail horribly. And the only recourse we have is to organize. Join your local Dems, join your local DSA, join your local Working Families Party, whatever organizational body you got. Join it and collaborate with other people, because that people power is all we got to cling to. So if you need help joining your local Dems, if you need help joining your local DSA, jump into our Discord, reach out to GamerG for help with DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. We have years of organizing experience. We want to help you to get involved, take your first steps, and also to navigate the organizations effectively. So let's make it happen. And all that being said, folks, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy lingerie that's non-tucking. Check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com. Link down in the doobly-doo. Let's keep on going. God. Ooh. I just yeah. I know that the suburbs are not generally walkable either, but also some of them can be. But like, it is one of those situations where like, in order to do literally fucking anything in rural / suburban areas, gas is necessary. You need a car. Yeah, rural means having to drive an hour to go to the doctor. Rural means having to have a spare tank in the back of your truck just in case. It's true. It is some car cuck nonsense, but you know, we'll get better. We'll get better as we go. We just need the infrastructure. Damn it, we just need the trains to run fast and free. This is a tangent for another day, but I've been saying for years that one of the big coming financial, logistical, and social crises coming is that we will need to at least partially re-urbanize suburbs in America. I mean, I do think that is part of what is going to happen, yeah. Eventually, maybe. We'll see. All right, folks. Click the goddamn button. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Do the things. Help the channel grow. There you go. Go, go, go. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click button. Click button. Click button. Click button. Click Hell yeah. Will you be okay in the coming gas crisis? I think so. I can walk to most of the places that I need to get to. The big question is, like, logistically, like, where will stuff go and where will stuff get, you know? So I don't know. We'll see. I guess. But a lot of it is going to depend on like logistical supply chains that none of us are aware of or capable of understanding the full extent and scope of. How will people eat? Excellent question. In my tiny rural Minnesota towns, there is a new worker co-op store, a bi-weekly farmers market, and businesses popping up just in people's garages. New recession indicator? Probably. Yeah. But a worker co-op store is pretty cool. Wonder how nuts people's energy bills will get. I mean, my big worry is that the next 2 years are just going to be a gigantic economic crisis, slow rolling, you know? All right, folks. It's true, beans and rice. Oh my god, guys. Guys, my black beans, I had them with some rice and some tomatillo salsa, and I got like a pre-cooked like chipotle chicken that's just like good in the fridge like almost indefinitely. And I mixed all of that together and it was so fucking good. It was transcendent. It was so good. Do I need to stock up on potatoes? I mean, maybe. I don't see why not. but I fucking love beans. Don't forget the lentils. True. True.
What? Give me the beans! I must have these beans! Beans? Well, I say, young fellow, did you say something about beans? Magical beans? Some mystical legumes? Well, I'll give you 1,000 gold pieces for it. Magic beans!
Hell yeah. I have texture issues with beans. Ah, damn. Have you tried refried beans? That helped me get over my texture issues with beans. All right, folks. If you identify as a woman, can you prove it? Yeah, I got big old titties. I got big old titties, and also I could just tell you I identify as a woman. Can't do shit about that. Also, like, this bralette is so cute. This bralette is so cute. Got a bunch of them in a bunch of different sizes. Go check it out. All right. What if I identify as a bean? Then you might get chomped. You might get chorned. All right. Awooga, clueless. Is that the new color? It is. It's like a lavender. The camera is kind of blowing it out a little bit, but rather my studio lights are blowing it out a little bit. But you can find it over on ImogeneOlivia.com right now. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. One second, let me check something real quick. Beans! Let's see here. Oh, refried beans are even worse? Ah, that sucks. I'm sorry. All right, folks. Talked about the war. We talked about being afraid of being jumped by the trans mafia goons who are rendered like can we just like go back to this for a second?
Never hear this conversation among people on the left anymore. They are not walking around worrying if somebody who's hopped up on hormones and trans surgery is going to try and kill them. This seems to
like he talks about trans people like they're the sewer people from Escape from New York. He talks about trans people like we're all crazed murderers just hankering for our next act of killing. It's genuinely crazy. By the way, who is this weird little bald nobody? That weird little bald nobody is the CEO and co-founder of the Federalist. So, yeah, like this little Nazi thumb. Yeah, he's like Mark Andreessen's less evolved form. His suit is murder. Oh, that explains a lot. Yeah, he's literally like one of the top guys in the bullshit brigade, you know? But Jack, are you telling me that you do not know of the Ninja Turtles? I do know of the Ninja Turtles. You feed this guy some rare candy and he turns into Mark. Da, 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 da. What's this? He's changing. All right. The BS is coming. The BS is coming. Hell yeah. All right. You guys ready to talk about Platner? Also, just as an FYI, we are at 386, and I'm excited for when we hit 500. We can finally dive into some new brain rot. Not really, but it needs to be done. It's true! We gotta rip it off like a band-aid. Here we go. Just refresh these. There we go. Also, we've been going for an hour and a half. If you've enjoyed the show, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and do consider financially supporting the stream because you guys make this show possible. Could not do it without your financial support. So, did you pre-order GTA 6? Does it look like I'm made out of $1,000 bills? No. I know I did. I did not. It's so expensive now. All right. Anyway. Boop. Hi, Asuka. I got these jack bucks. I got these jack bucks, but all they're good for is buying some dumb merch from an online store. Oh, God. That's the next sub goal. Fun GTA 6 for Jack. You always look like 1,000. Guys, I now understand all of the comments that are coming out. Very complimentary. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Is the subs count next to you represents Twitch subs or YouTube subs? It represents all $5 increments sent my way. If it's $10, that's 2 subs. It's just a counting method that originated back in the day, but memberships that are $5, that counts as a sub. Paid memberships or donos. If only they took sake pun money. All right. Here we go. Let's do this. So, folks, earlier today, Graham Platner put out an update video. We gotta take a look at it. Let's hear what he has to say because, unfortunately, it really matters. Here we go. He posted this saying, "My name might be on the ballot right now, but that ballot line belongs to the people of Maine."
Hey everyone, it's Graham Platner here.
God, it's so quiet. Why is it so quiet?
I think as many of you know, over the past couple days, I have faced some very serious allegations, and I just want to make it clear, this is all false. The things that have been claimed did not happen. It's not real. It has placed an immense amount of weight on me as I think about what needs to happen now. Amy and I are regular people. We were not looking for this experience. We were not looking to get into politics. We had no desire to run for office. I just want you to think about like what you would do as a regular person in a position where a much larger world, large forces, were working against you personally to accuse you of the worst thing that a person could do, and it was not remotely true. I learned about this through press inquiries with no time to truly respond, no time for investigations before a corporate media system and the political establishment got to act as judge, jury, and executioner. Accusations are supposed to be the beginning of things, not the end. I think it's really important to understand why this is happening in the time.
Do you D&D? Favorite class? Paladin Maine for life.
I do play D&D. I'm a forever DM.
Why this is happening right now. Much like October, when the first attack started. Much like the news that was created.
Okay, so he's straight up going in a this never happened, but I am the victim of, corporate media being very unfair, and however, like I'm waiting for him to recognize like the political reality here.
The week before the primary, there is a reason that this is happening now. I only have until July 13th until I am officially the nominee. This was the last week to try to get me off of the ballot. And that's why this is occurring. It's not the false allegations, though, that have brought us to where we are. It's the fact that they are being used by the political establishment to put structural pressure on us. We live in a political system that is not built for normal people. It is a system that is built structurally to make sure that movements like ours cannot flourish. That if they begin to succeed, they can be crushed. What we have accomplished here, you made possible.
Now, like I want to make a couple of points based on what he has been saying. Number one, that trying to portray the fact that media were investigating you to try and like see if they could dig up any dirt on you, and they succeeded. I don't view this at all as like some kind of, oh, the corporate system, was just like going after him and they're bringing him down on like a technicality. That this isn't that, right? This is actually a rare occasion of the media doing exactly what they should be doing with their resources to pursue investigative journalism. Like, this is, I think, one of the things that Politico did well here. I think that was a good idea. I think it is good to investigate political leadership. And number two, the issue that is raised here is effectively, well, you're not going to get this adjudicated on in a court of law anytime soon, but the entirety of the Republican machine, if you stay in the race, is going to be playing clips of your accuser saying that you raped her 24/7 in Maine television. You know, that will destroy any campaign. And so when we're looking at like, oh, well, that's, that's pretty bad, but this was all suspiciously timed. It's not suspiciously timed at all. She came forward herself, though. What investigation was there? There was the corroborating her account through her friends and acquaintances, through her text exchanges that are chronologically consistent with her story, stuff like that, right? And that's some good investigative reporting. The issue here is that, like, I don't think that he's insincere in his political views that he espouses right now, right? And so his campaign has been, allegedly behind the scenes trying to negotiate uh who is going to take his place. And we're going to get to that in a bit, but I wanted to watch his full statement first. Also, he's not been found guilty of a crime. He's not in court. He has not been jailed. So I'm at a loss for what this means with judge, jury, and executioner. And like, I don't look. People can be like, well, this should be for the courts to judge, but like, it's very likely this will never go to court, right? And number two, that when you're talking about politics, public opinion is important. And when people get new information or new things get injected into the conversation, people react to that. So whether this is true or not is going to be politically damaging. And that is very much been accepted by basically everybody in Maine politics.
People of Maine, the volunteers, the voters, the grassroots donors, and I have all the faith in the world that we could win if we could continue to harness that. But the brutal political reality is that...
Why wasn't this found out during the vetting process? Probably because he didn't get vetted that hard. And the things that people did find when he was initially vetted were that, like, people generally liked him and he seemed like kind of a swell guy. And, like, no one mentioned the fucking Nazi tattoo. And no one fucking mentioned that, oh yeah, he can get blackout drunk and allegedly do sexual assaults. Like, that's not something that came up when people were initially interviewing about him. Like, you all know, you guys can, in fact, just run in a primary, and there is not really a vetting process for you to go through. If you meet the minimum requirements, you can just throw your name into the ring and run for office. Like, they don't put you through like a metal detector that detects all of your, hottest tea.
They are going to take everything away from us. Those in power who have the ability to do so are using these allegations as an excuse to take away all of the things that we need to run a campaign.
Like, it's also worth noting that, like, the Democratic establishment in Maine did work pretty hard to not endorse him in particular. It's also worth noting that, like, DSA never endorsed Graham Platner either.
We are going to lose our ability to fundraise. We are going to lose our ability to access voter data. We are going to lose all of the things that any campaign needs on the basic level simply to function.
And what he's saying right now is true. Like, he's been effectively cut off by the entirety of every Democratic organization. Like, he's basically done, you know? And the reason, part of why he's putting out this statement is to use whatever remains of his influence, I think, to try and hand it off to somebody who's going to support working people. That is the impression that I get, especially from the reporting of what's happening behind the scenes in Maine politics. The Bangor Daily, by the way, has been doing an absolutely bang-up job covering what is happening in Maine on a day-to-day, hour-by-hour basis as the political bomb of this campaign explodes.
Larger organizations, the national level party, the bigger donor networks, they have all committed to spending no money in this race if I'm in it. They would rather see Susan Collins win than have me be the next senator from Maine. What comes next needs to come from the people. Needs to come from the people of Maine. Needs to come from the voters who on...
I don't know why he was specifically uplifted in the first place, to be honest. I need to learn that. I mean, the reason he got mainstream traction is because, like, he... frankly, he's a big burly dude who's kind of dumb and relatable, you know? Like, what happened about him specifically was that he was somebody who resonated with the people who live in Maine and who came across as like more authentically Mainer and was able to speak forcefully against the injustices that people in Maine have been forced to experience, you know? And so, like, he had good he had good politics. He had the confidence and the posturing. Like, he had a lot going for him that the average Mainer is going to consider a lot more than maybe other people from other parts of the country. You know?
June 9th, at a strength of over 150,000, the largest number in the history of Maine primaries, said no to this kind of politics. Voted for a politics that would actually represent them. Voted against the political system, against the donor class, against the entrenched forces. And I'm not asking for how this process is going to work. I'm not trying to dictate to anyone who it should be or how we get there, but I will say this. It needs to be open, transparent, and democratic. It needs to be reflecting the will and the values of the people that built this movement, the people that showed up on June 9th. People in D.C. need to stay in D.C. Decisions should not be made in back rooms by people in places of political power. Party apparatchiks are not the ones to make these decisions. These decisions need to be made in the open by the people of this state, the people who got us here. This is exactly the kind of political system that everyone voted against on June 9th. And for that reason, we need to be assured that it is going to be open and democratic as we move forward. Amy and I struggled about getting into this. Last summer, right around this time of year, we sat down and we looked at each other and we said, if we believe in the kind of politics we think that we do, we have to do this. Over the past couple days, really yesterday and today, we have had to have that exact same conversation.
Squishmallow Dragon, thank you very much for the 5 tier 1 subs. Very much appreciate it.
We believe that for the movement to continue, it can't be me. And for that reason, we are suspending campaign operations. This is incredibly difficult because I know that some will think it's an admission of guilt, and it most certainly is not. We're not doing it because of the allegations. We're doing it because of the structures that are being taken away from us by those in power. And I also feel an immense amount of responsibility to everyone who has worked so hard to get us to where we are. We went toe-to-toe with one of the most entrenched political systems in the history of the world, and we won. We beat them on June 9th in overwhelming numbers. We did it the right way. We built a campaign. We engaged in electoral politics. We motivated people. We banded together. We did it the way that we were told we are supposed to make change. And we won. And now they are not going to let us have it.
Like, it's not just that those in power were taking away support systems. Like, the people in Graham Platner's organizing network, like the people who were knocking doors and phone banking for him, were straight up like in revolt. And the reason he's putting out this message in particular is, one, to assert his innocence, and two, to basically figure out a way of handing off power from his campaign to whoever gets picked next. And we're going to talk about that mechanism in a few minutes here. But yeah, he's trying to use whatever influence he has left to, move it towards like a more progressive candidate, because he is very aware, as most of you are, that a lot of the Democrats in the establishment would very much like to put in a Janet Mills-like candidate. Doubt it will be Janet Mills, by the way. But it remains to be seen how much of that support and enthusiasm is transferable, And it is disappointing and devastating, because this was a chance to do something truly magnificent and get rid of Susan Collins and move an entire state in a much more positive direction. It is deeply sad. So yeah, it fucking sucks. His replacement needs to be Troy Jackson, in my opinion. Troy Jackson is one of the front runners, and I do think that he seems like the likely replacement option, but genuinely, I have no idea within like the Democratic Party of Maine where they wind up landing on this. So we'll talk about the mechanism in a bit, but let's finish this real quick.
Not if it's me. And so we're suspending campaign operations. I want to make clear, though, I intend to file my paperwork to withdraw. The process needs to assure that what comes next is reflective of the Mainers who on June 9th turned out and showed that they are desperate for a different kind of politics. It needs to be driven not from back rooms, but by the will of the people. And the decisions that come next must come from that. All we were asking for was health care.
Yeah, like, this is the thing, Paladin, and the thing that I'm very worried about when it comes to this particular Senate race is that I think you might be right that a lot of people in Maine are ride or die specifically for Graham Platner, and I don't know that they can be their ride can be transferred to Troy Jackson or one of these other potential replacements. And it worries me, It worries me quite a bit.
Was to end the genocide. To use our taxpayer dollars at home to uplift our communities instead of waging war overseas. We were asking for a fair system. We were asking for an end to the corruption, the end to the money in politics. We were asking for real democracy, and we did it the right way, and we won. But now the ball is in the court of the Democratic establishment. My name might be on the ballot right now, but that ballot line belongs to the people of Maine. And on November 3rd, it needs to belong to the people of Maine. And the next Democratic senator for Maine needs to belong to the people of Maine. They need to reflect the will and the values of the people of this state. I love this state. I love Maine, and I love Mainers in ways that I can't really describe. I'm immensely proud of what we have built, and I have the utmost faith that we will continue to build, and we will continue to move towards a better future. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank all of you. And keep fighting. We're going to win someday.
I think that opinion does a disservice to the people of Maine. I think he helped build a movement, and yes, some of that movement will drop away with his stepping down, but I think the vast majority of those people will remain politically engaged. I mean, I hope so. Like, genuinely. And I do believe that that is probably the case, but also when I talk about why a statement like this is important, is because it's doing what it can to preserve some amount of momentum from this campaign to whatever campaign is next, right? Because the trick is going to be how much of that momentum transfers enough, and is it enough to counteract Susan Collins' money and name recognition advantage? You know, one of the big advantages of someone like Platner running was that he had been running for years. Like he's been building up name recognition, which is uniformly one of the most important things in politics. Just on the basis of name recognition alone, people are way more likely to vote for you. And so it's important. And I do see that there are some people. Squishmallow Dragon, thank you for the gifted sub to Boy Meets Mini, friend of the show. Folks, go check out Boy Meets Mini. But when people are, you know, considering this, there are going to be a lot of people who, let me put it this way. There were a lot of people who checked out after Bernie lost. There were a lot of people who checked out after, and who are going to check out because their guy in Maine, you know, who was going to go fix everything, turned out to be an alleged rapist. And that really fucked everything up. And for a lot of people, that's going to be devastating in a way that they're not going to be able to recover from in a short amount of time. And I know that that sounds like, you know, uncharitable maybe to some folks in Maine, but that's the truth about any political defeat. And for a lot of people, Platner's failure in front of the people of Maine is it's going to be devastating. I have to admit that I'm a little disheartened, not because of Platner's behavior. I mean, that too, but because a lot of the response there, there's been a lot of dunking on the left, and it's pretty gross. Yeah, look, it's been nasty. I've lost respect for certain people out there, who've been like essentially doing what you see in every conservative response to like a conservative figure getting having allegations dropped against them, and it's disappointing to see it on our side too. It's disappointing to see that same kind of misogyny manifest over here. You know, it sucks. It just sucks real hard. Now, there does seem to be some battle lines getting drawn right now between the progressive elements in Maine and the establishment Democrats. Specifically, Maine's Democratic Party has been beefing with Graham Platner's campaign to get him to drop out, and they're trying to accuse him of like, oh, you're meddling with the political process, etc. And that does seem to be the case because late last night, Representative Valley Geiger was called up by Graham Platner. Here's some local reporting.
Though first at 4 in the race to replace U.S. Democratic Senate nominee Graham Platner, the Maine Democratic State Committee now set to meet in the next 30 minutes for an emergency meeting.
That after Platner was accused of sexual assault by a former girlfriend. In an email from the Maine Democratic Party chairman, it was obtained by Maine's Total Coverage. The committee is set to...
I have more beef about Platner than most of this crowd. I'm old. He was a murderer. Unlike this crowd, I took his reckoning with moral injury in earnest. We could have had another Smidley Butler.
Yep. Big Rackle, thank you for the $20 super chat.
Meet at 4:30, and the party saying today, quote, the Maine Democratic Party remains hyper-focused on developing a representative, transparent, and inclusive process to select a new nominee when he chooses to withdraw from the race. And some more breaking news here. First at 4, Maine State Representative Valley Geiger says U.S. Senate candidate Graham Platner is supporting her for the Senate race, though a Platner campaign member just told us moments ago that Platner has not made any decision on endorsements.
But speaking with Maine's Total Coverage, Geiger says Platner called her Monday and she told him he could put her name forward. Geiger has previously credited Platner with helping secure funding for rape kit tracking in Maine after 2 years of failed efforts in the legislature. She is currently serving her 3rd term in the State House.
Yeah, so apparently the Platner campaign has been scrambling behind the scenes to try and find names to put forward. And earlier today, reported by the Bangor Daily News, we now have the mechanism that will replace Graham Platner. What does that look like? Essentially, Maine Democrats have called for a Democratic convention of around 600 people from across the state. Will be coming, I believe it's like proportionally, each county has a certain number of delegates. And then there's the state committee within the Democratic Party all getting together to try and figure out who should be the replacement. And I'm not a local, so I don't know what the exact makeup of the state Democratic Party is at the moment, but this could get really messy. And like it's supposed to be democratic, so we're getting like a representative, democratic body within the Democratic Party to figure this out, but it's gonna be messy, guys. And I know that Troy Jackson has already filed paperwork to replace Graham Platner. Yeah, Story of the Bard, keep me updated on what exactly goes down at this convention, because I expect it's going to be extraordinarily heated. So all of this is happening. Troy Jackson has thrown his hat into the ring. Valley Geiger, her name's being circulated. There's also Nirav Shah, who is getting some buzz in different Democratic Party circles. Those seem to be, as far as I know, the 3 main names that I'm hearing at this point. But most of the energy seems to be behind Troy Jackson. I don't really see any voices within the party or within the DSA exactly championing championing Miss Geiger. But we'll see, I guess. We'll see if we'll see if this kind of endorsement holds any water, I guess. I know DSA is behind Troy Jackson for the most part, but I have no idea how much traction DSA has in the Maine Democratic Party. So we're kind of in like this weird limbo, and we have about 2 weeks to figure it out now. I mean, I guess, right? I think 2 weeks. I think we have until the 27th, so maybe almost 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. But this is messy as hell. This is messy as hell, and I have no idea where the chips are gonna land. And yeah, I think that is all that I have to say on this particular subject. Ugh. And of course, the Dem machine will pick the most centrist candidate. I mean, I think that in this particular case, the most likely thing that the Democratic State Party in Maine will do is pick someone who they believe can win, right? We'll see who that winds up being. But I find it to be a deeply frustrating state of affairs, you know? God. State parties can be a little bit more savvy than national Dem operatives. True.
Hey, everyone.
God, stop it. So anyway, folks, if you got anything out of this, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. I'm looking forward to seeing how this entire process unfolds, because it's messy as hell. It's messy as hell. And it's only going to get messier from here. All that being said, folks, when I tell you guys to organize and join your local Dems, part of it is so that we have leftist progressive folks who are within the Democratic Party, geographically spread out, who can then rise through the ranks of the Democratic Party, become delegates in decisions like this, so that we can actually have an outsized influence in the Democratic Party. We can actually do that as a small progressive community. If you guys kept showing up to your local Democratic meetings, you guys could genuinely spark an entire political movement of change in this country. And I don't say that lightly. I just say it because there are several hundred of you here right now, and genuinely several hundred people getting organized together and going to work can change quite a bit. So get involved with your local Democratic Party. Get involved with your local DSA. If you need help, join our Discord, !Discord in any of the chats, and reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. Reach out to GamerG for help with your local DSA. We can help you get in the door. We can help you organize. We can give you interpersonal strategies to maximize your organizing effectiveness. Please take advantage of the expertise we're making available to you and get involved, because it's only when we all get involved that things can truly change. Last but not least, folks, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy lingerie that's non-tucking. Check it out. ImogeneOlivia.com, link down in the description. Let's keep on going. Oof. I'm going to join DSA here in Albuquerque. Hell yeah, Dusty Den. Let's go. Make sure you connect with the DSA Shimp chat for, folks who want to just chat in the signal chats. Us old people vote. Why do you think young people, especially under the current age or current regime of oppression didn't come out to vote last election, do you think they will show up in the midterms? I mean, I think fundamentally it's because a lot of people were really upset and disillusioned with the status quo. And someone like Kamala Harris going out in front of a bunch of people who are disillusioned with the system and saying, you know, I will not be fundamentally different from what we're doing right now, when what we're doing right now is not helping a lot of young people in a way that they can measurably perceive. That is not an inspiring message. You know, if you're running on something like vote for me, you'll get health care, that'll get people to turn up. But right now, like, it's an investment of mental and emotional and logistical energy that, like, a lot of young people would rather spend, you know, keeping their mental health together or getting an extra shift in at work. You know, like, it's a lot of it is there are a lot of choices that have to be made, because for some people, like, again, going to vote can be like hours of your time. And it's, I think, just a lot of people very disillusioned on the issue of Gaza, very disillusioned when it came to their economic prospects. And ultimately, if what winds up happening is that a lot of people just wind up thinking, well, it doesn't really matter if I vote. You know, it doesn't really matter if I vote. And okay, on the one hand, there's more status quo, and on the other hand, you've got a wild card. Maybe that'll make my prospects better. Who knows? And they just keep going on inertia. You know, they just keep floating through. But the issue is that, like, a lot of folks would turn out to vote for someone if they believed that that person was actually going to make their life better. And people didn't believe that about Kamala Harris. You know, a lot of younger Democrats didn't believe that about Kamala Harris. One big thing my DSA was talking about is AOC running, and the fact we will also be having to go against Angus King in the next Maine election. Oof, the King machine. It's true. But yeah, AOC gonna be running. Gonna be running. Yeah, Kamala Harris didn't stand up for immigrants, didn't stand up for Palestinians, didn't stand up for trans people, and didn't stand up for pro-working class policies. She was taking her economic policies straight from, like, a executive at Uber. Like, it wound up not being very, very effective. Tired of them listening to consultants instead of to constituents. Exactly. All right. Let's see here. I don't think my body can contain this amount of rage, so I think I'm going to skip this. But suffice it to say, man, the Young Turks really fucking went downhill. Like, they have continued to nosedive. It's sad to see. God. Jesus, yeah. They've been running defense, like the a rape allegation against Grant Platner is like APAC propaganda or some shit. Ugh. Oof. Yeah. Thank you for not subjecting us to that. Anna makes me shudder every time I hear her speak. Yeah, it's really not great. Yeah, let's what is that? Let's see here. Do 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 do. Okay. Okay. Here. Trying to organize future things here. Go. Cool. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for our next segment? I'm ready. Thank you, Josie Doobs. Okay. On a much lighter note, about TYT, I found a coin game in a gas station in Mississippi that is called Bonus Hole. Cool. Thanks for letting me know. All right, here we go. So, folks, we gotta talk about the fact that Ben Shapiro is really crashing out these days, and I, for one, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. This is from about 6 days ago, and he titled this video, "America is Too Important to Hand Over to Idiots." Which is wild considering that he's literally called Donald Trump one of America's dumbest men. But okay.
Recording from home today, my voice is basically gone, but I wanted to sign into chat because I'm getting a lot of questions today, a lot of texts, a lot of disturbed phone calls about Tucker Carlson's announcement that he wants to start a third party. And I just want to point out that there are, in fact, as we approach the 250th anniversary of the founding of our country,
guys, I want to engage with the subject matter here, but as I'm watching this, is it just me, or is his facial hair either just very unfortunately toned, and he just has lighter hair on the sides and darker hair in the middle, but like that is some unfortunate shading in your facial hair, Ben.
there are, in fact, two forces that wish to wreck America, stern to stem, that seek to destroy it: the DSA left and the woke right, and they are coming.
I gotta be honest, guys. This is I can't not see it, and it is. I can't not see it. God damn it! God damn it! I walked into that. Fuck.
Together, I'll explain in just a moment. This is the Ben Shapiro Show.
Oh my god.
So here's where we are as we close in on our 250th anniversary as a country. The things that matter most to the United States, to Americans, are under assault. Core principles, things like freedom of speech and freedom of religion and private property. These things are under assault. The very idea of America being an amazing place, a place that is good and great. The idea of American peace through strength. All of these things are currently under assault. On the left, of course, the DSA, the Democrat Socialists of America, are
this idea of peace through strength. Oh yeah, you mean like a bad militaristic idea that just makes every problem look like it's in need of a hammer solution?
the Democratic Party wholesale. These are not kind of normal Democrats who are just worried about tax rates or entitlement programs. They truly despise the country, and they are full-scale socialists. Here was Zohran Mamdani just yesterday talking about the magic of Marxist economics.
And we raise taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers instead of taking more from those with the least. Throughout this process...
Yeah, that's right. By the way, Ben is losing his shit over the fact that Zohran Mamdani balanced the New York City budget. I told you guys that this was going to make a lot of conservatives really, really mad. He's just big mad at the fact that his political movement is getting its ass kicked right now by a guy who is effectively just wearing a cheap suit and like doing little social media videos where he jumps into pools in them. Like, that's like he's getting absolutely dominated by a guy that he views as someone who should have never fundamentally been allowed to come to the United States in the first place. And Zoran's cooking him.
I've been reminded of the words of the Austrian economist Friedrich Hayek. If socialists understood economics, they wouldn't be socialists. If these past months have shown us anything, it is that socialists not only understand economics just as well as the capitalists who came before, but that we can solve their years of mismanagement through an embrace of our principles.
Can I just say how wonderful it is to have seen this particular clip the day that he gave this speech, and to immediately know in my heart that it was going to make conservative commentators angry as fuck. And Ben just played a clip of himself getting fucking owned by Zoran. That was great.
And of course, Zoran Mamdani, he loves the idea of the collective warmth of collectivism. So much so, by the way, that he is now calling on people to set their thermostat at 78 degrees in New York City. You know, got to turn this place into Paris as fast as...
Doug, he's calling for the thermostat to be set to 78 so that the power doesn't explode. So that the power grid maintains itself and doesn't overload. Because I don't know that people understand this, I guess. Maybe it needs to be explicitly said. But if it's hotter outside, it means that the power to keep it cool, or cooler even, is greater. The more the temperature change between the air conditioning and the outside, the more power is consumed. And when that happens in a city that has millions of people in it, it turns out that winds up bringing down entire electrical grids. And that's bad, because when that happens, then people don't have any air conditioning, and that's when people start dying. Like, it's not rocket science. I didn't think I would have to explain this in detail, but like, when Zoran is saying that, it's not just because he likes people being hot, and that's really stupid. Like, this is the advice given in every major metropolitan area during heat waves. At least major metropolitan areas that don't have like robust, electrical grids.
Humanly possible. The smell of trash must waft through the city streets.
And to every business owner, please set your thermostats to 78 degrees to alleviate the stress on our power grid. Every worker in New York City has the right to a safe workplace, and that includes safety in...
Oh, wow. He even explicitly said, to protect our power grid. Gee whiz. I wonder what happens if the power grid goes down. I'm a conservative. I will never ask these questions, apparently.
Extreme heat.
But here's the thing. This whole discussion about the DSA and what they've been doing in big cities and now in Colorado and all the rest, it's not just fun and games. It actually has consequences. The Democratic Party is, in fact, on the verge of taking over not just the House in the midterm elections, but also the Senate. So Real Clear Politics has a rundown on the polling averages in the crucial Senate races. These are all seats that are currently held by Republicans that could go to
Ben's editor must secretly hate him. This is one of the working theories that I have had for years now, because his editing always does him a little bit dirty in a way that I find very funny.
Democrats. In North Carolina, Democrats are up. In Ohio, dead heat. In Maine, that is Graham Platner.
God damn it.
Someone tell Ben this was a policy before Zoran came to power.
Someone tell him that, but that would mean that he'd have to learn a new thing. He's not the cool kids learning guy, he's the cool kids philosopher. Get it right.
The Nazi tattoo guy versus Susan Collins. Dead heat. In Texas, James Tallarico. Sunday school howdy doody with the LGBT.
I really hope, by the way, that the Troy Jackson polling as a guy who it seems like he's the likely replacement for Platner at the moment, at least as an outsider looking in. I do hope the polling that shows Troy Jackson being able to beat Susan Collins by 5 points, I do hope that winds up being relatively accurate. Because if so, We could really use that energy, but it's a high stakes race in Maine.
TQ flag. That dude is in a dead heat with Ken Paxton. In Iowa, dead heat. In Alaska, dead heat. That's 6 seats. If Democrats were to win 4, they would take control of the Senate. If they win 6, they're at 53 seats. Nate Silver, the statistician, he says that there's about an 80 to 90% shot Democrats take the House, and there's a 40% shot they take the Senate. And remember, increasingly, these are not establishment Democrats. These are not John Fetterman moderate Democrats. These are Democrats.
God, fucking Fetterman, the traitor.
Who are enthralled to the DSA. They understand.
By the way, I love that Ben is like, yeah, John Fetterman is a moderate Democrat. Meanwhile, everyone on the left in the Democratic Party, everyone looks at John Fetterman as being one of the most conservative sacks of shit in elected membership.
And which way the winds are blowing, and they're moving in the direction of those winds. So, what would happen if the Democrats win? Again, we should keep this in mind because this is the backdrop to Tucker Carlson announcing that he wants to start a third party, which, by the way, is nonsense. I'll explain.
You know what? I do have to say, Tucker Carlson saying he wants to form a third party. God, I hope he does it. God, I hope he does it. I hope he does it and the entire wretched conservative movement, absolutely collapses. In our system, it would basically mean that we have the next maybe 20 years, 30 years to put shit back together in a way that these clans can't do anything about. But God, I want him to do it so bad. I want him to do it so bad, y'all. God.
That he's lying in a second, but what would happen if Democrats were to win? You need to understand the stakes to understand the game that Tucker is playing, which is a very dangerous game.
Tucker is crazy enough to do it and also has the name recognition and political sway to be able to do it in a way that wouldn't be possible for the Republicans to ignore.
Well, first off, judicial nominees. So, Justice Clarence Thomas, you may have noticed the Supreme Court's pretty important, right? That the Supreme Court makes decisions that affect all of us on a wide level. And you can either have people in positions of power who are going to do things like strike down Roe versus Wade, or curb the administrative state, or ensure the checks and balances of the Constitution, or you can have a bunch of leftists who greenlight every left-wing policy.
who guard the sacrosanct checks and balances. Oh, you mean the court system that Donald Trump has been breaking for the last year and a half? Oh, okay. Yeah. Those great, well-functioning checks and balances, huh?
Policy. Well, Justice Thomas is currently 78. Justice Samuel Alito is 76. Unless either one of them or both retire in the next couple of months, if Democrats win the Senate, you are likely to see them replaced at some point by a left-leaning member of the Supreme Court. If you had 2 justices who shift from right to left, or from originalist to the living Constitution crew, you end up with a majority on the Supreme Court in favor of every...
Bro, the originalists are fucking jokes. The Supreme Court under Trump, too, has been fabricating law whole cloth in their rulings. This argument, oh, well, maybe they'll shift away from being originalists. They're rewriting, constitutional law every time they rule. It's crazy.
Radical social and fiscal and foreign policy that the Democrats could ever imagine. Full-scale disaster area. So yes, the Senate matters an awful lot. Democrats, of course, will they're going to start stacking up the district courts as well. They're going to start moving those district courts in the direction of...
Didn't the Founding Fathers straight up say the Constitution was supposed to be a living, ever-changing document? Yes, they did. But, then there were a bunch of other people who said, but what if we want to keep it just the way it is, where women and non-white people can't vote? And only the white people who own land can vote. And thus originalism was born.
Of left-wing social policy, if they were to gain control of the Senate. They would move to impeach President Trump. There's an outside shot. They could even get a conviction in a Senate split between a Democratic majority and maybe some rogue Democratic senators. They, of course, will stymie any effort to refund our military. to restock THAADs, Patriot missiles, to build the new kind of military we need to actually challenge our enemies in the world. And again, there is, as I say, the possibility that President Trump gets impeached in the House and then even convicted in the Senate. That's all what...
Oh no! Wait a minute. If we elect, you mean to say that if enough Democrats participate in the midterms and we are able to take back both the House and the Senate, we might be able to impeach and remove and convict Donald Trump? Oh no! Wait, we might be able to fix the Supreme Court? Oh no! Oh no, like, yeah, he's saying all of this like they have scare quotes around them, but like these are all wait. These all sound like good things. You're gonna be taken to a horrible prison. Wait, no, sorry. Heh. I bet you really are wondering how you wound up here, huh? Yeah. Huh. Well, you did a crime, mister. You did a crime, Mr. Man. That's right. They're going to take you to the hardest slammer in town. And they're going to wine and dine you, okay? You're going to have access to the richest meats, to the most wonderful chefs. You're going to meet people who are going to expand your world. You're going to go in every day and learn a new crafting skill. By the time you're done in there, you will have gained 60 pounds on the richness of the food alone. And not only that, you will be leaving with more handicraft skills than your own goddamn grandma. All right? Your voice isn't tinny enough like Ben's? It's true. And that'd be really terrible, wouldn't it? You wouldn't even be able to function after you got out of prison after that, committing this crime that you must surely regret now. It's like, nah, dog, we're good. We got this golden goose, and we all know that goose equals 73.
Happens if the Democrats win the Senate. So there's like very, very serious stuff, and that sets it up for 2028, because if Democrats control the Senate in 26 and the House in 26, then they are one step away from having trifecta in 28. Now, listen, Republicans have an uphill battle in 26. We all know this. It's an off-year election. This is normal. What's exacerbating that, other than the obvious fact of the president's unpopularity, but what's truly exacerbating that is a group of people purportedly on the right who are openly saying they want the Republicans to lose. Tucker Carlson is doing this. This is Tucker's entire game. And Tucker Carlson wants the Republicans to lose because what he wants is a party that takes the place of the Republican Party.
God, I can't stop seeing the facial hair. Like, you have to look in the mirror and see that, man. How do you think like it? Oh no, this is fine. No one will notice this on my show, watched by millions of people. I can't, dog.
Mirrors all the presumptions of the woke left, except for trans, basically. Tucker Carlson truly dislikes the country. There's no way to consistently watch his show and believe otherwise. He literally had on an arms dealer from Russia named Victor Bout the other day to talk about the evils of America. Tucker Carlson thinks that America is a tool of evil, capitalist, globalists, and all that kind of stuff. Of course, many of them are Jewish. It's just a coincidence when he says that kind of stuff, when he pushes this crap, when he has on every...
And see, this is the thing, right? Like, Ben Shapiro for a really long time got really comfortable alongside people like Tucker Carlson. And ultimately, what I've been telling you guys for years is finally coming to pass, which is that suddenly you're getting this schism between effectively the Christian nationalist anti-Semites who hate Jewish people and are using Israel as like a proxy for talking about Jewish people and recruiting people, right? White nationalists do this a lot. They've been doing it for like the last 70 years, right? And when like this schism started happening, Ben Shapiro thought he was going to be on the winning side of it, and he's increasingly looking like he's on the losing side of it. The Daily Wire's finances are not doing okay, folks. They're not doing okay whatsoever. Yeah, it turns out that the funding model of Go Woke, Go Broke was actually just projection on their part.
Anti-Semite he can on his show. It's all a coincidence. It's just strange that it works out that way. But his view is that America is a tool of evil capitalist globalists who want to cram down their version of America on the poor common man. And here is a rando to talk about the evils of the Old Testament in order to show you. Tucker does not actually like any of the things that classically have made America awesome. So Tucker Carlson, for example, does not like free markets. You'll recall him praising feudalism over free markets. Feudalism.
Feudalism is so much better than what we have now because, at least in feudalism, the leader is vested in.
God, Tucker Carlson.
As a Jewish guy, the first to not want to hear Ben whine about anti-Semitism. He has spent years playing defense for these people and making us less safe.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Can I just say that it is very funny to listen to Tucker Carlson defending feudalism. He's out there still fighting the good fight again on behalf of the czarists in Russia. He's still here holding it down over 110 years later.
The prosperity of the people he rules.
Right.
You know, if all your serfs die, you starve.
There is not an enemy of America that he does not adore. He was praising Nicolas Maduro before the Trump administration ousted Maduro.
Nicolas Maduro and his government are very left-wing on economics. Not on social policy, by the way, which is kind of interesting. In Venezuela, gay marriage is banned, abortion is banned, sex changes for transgenderism are banned. It's one of the very few countries in the entire hemisphere with those policies. It is on social policy, not defending the regime, just saying, one of the most conservative countries in North or South or Central America. Only El Salvador really comes close.
Aha!
No, no, no. Leopards would never eat my face.
Indeed, anime sidekick gal. No leopards would ever eat our faces.
He has praised pretty much every jihadi group he can imagine, or pretended they don't exist. Hamas, it turns out, is a political group, actually. He doesn't
I mean, it definitionally is. Yeah, yes.
Know much about these places. And it turns out that Muslims have been victimized by the Western world, not the other way around.
And you notice, like in ISIS or...
Well, yeah. Like, Ben, what do you think the fucking Crusades were? What? Ben, what about colonialism, Ben? What about when a bunch of Muslim nations were colonized, Ben? So tired. I need like a fake cigarette to smoke when there's just like a truly terrible take.
Al-Qaeda or like the Muslim extremists, they're all from like collapsed, pathetic societies dominated by colonial powers. They've been degraded, and that's why they're so angry.
Tucker, of course, has said that Iran is actually the wondrous force in the region. And Tucker's unending lavish praise for Vladimir Putin is laughable at this point. So now, here's the actual story of the day. Tucker is discussing launching a third party. Right? This is the shtick. Now, you see why he's doing this. His friends are getting kicked out of the government, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Joe Kent or Thomas Massie. And so he says he's going to start something new. So he did an interview at the Columbia Journalism Review this week. And here's what he said, quote, "I do know what really matters is war and finance. Where does the money come from? Where does it go? And who gets killed? And on those questions, the parties are in lockstep solidarity with each other." Now, again, that is a lie. It is not true. If you think that there's no distinction between Democrats and Republicans on how taxing works, where the money comes from, how markets work, how foreign policy ought to work, if you think that they're the same, it's because you're stupid or because you're lying.
Well, I mean, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party agree on how markets work, but very much disagree on the taxation around them, I guess.
And I don't think Tucker is stupid. I think he's lying. He says that's not a democracy. That's a one-party state posing as a democracy, and it needs to be broken. And there's going to be a third party, and I'm going to do everything I can to bring that about. And that's the lesson of the last 2.5 months to me. If you vote for Trump and you still wind up in a regime change war, then we need options. Or else let's just give up and be ruled by the most unscrupulous people. And I'm just too young to accept that. We need a third party. I'm going to help build a third party, he says. There should be a good faith effort to figure out what benefits the country. And then he goes into his nationalist socialist spiel. I mean, if you make $60,000 a year, you're degraded. Your life expectancy has gone down, and the promise of your children's lives is likely gone. That is not true.
Wait a minute. Like, this is crazy, right? Because Ben is just straight up saying things that most people are gonna know or by through experience or agree with, which is that, hey, if you make less money in America, your access to healthcare, your access to support services is degraded, right? And your ability to make use of those services is degraded based on your level of income, which means that in the United States, what you see is that people who have more money live longer. Like, that's not controversial. That's the established, like, observation, right? So when he's like, oh, people who make less than $60,000 aren't living as long, that's not true. It is true, actually. It just is true. If you have more money, you're able to access more preventative care. You're able to take more time out of your day to do the things that keep you alive longer, like exercise or meditation or whatever. You know, prepare meal prep, whatever, you know? Because we live under capitalism where the more money you have, the more you are protected and insulated from any kind of consequence in the world, including time. Though it does eventually come for us all.
That is not true. Upward mobility in the United States remains. And then he says, no one seems to care, which is, of course, Tucker's constant refrain.
But, like, I guess this is what I'm trying to say here is this is exactly why Ben Shapiro is just getting, like, destroyed in this, political kerfuffle within the conservative movement at the moment, right? He's getting wrecked by this because he's reading out something that a lot of conservatives are going to hear and agree with at face value, you know?
Is that all the people who oppose his bizarre and unsavory policy prescriptions just don't care. They're not caring enough. Very feminized left-wing language from Tucker Carlson on a consistent basis. What about Hamas? He says, I officially don't care about Hamas. Well, that's weird because the dude talks about the Middle East more than literally anyone who does a broadcast, Tucker Carlson. He cannot stop talking about the Middle East. He's obsessed with it.
Dog, you also can't stop talking about the Middle East. Like, you've written more op-eds on the Middle East than I think just about anybody else, Ben Shapiro.
He says the U.S. government should have as its first priority the welfare of its own people, which, of course, I agree with. Then he says, I don't want to be a candidate. And then he says, I was tempted to say to the New York Times, I'm running on a pro-patriarchy ticket just to make sure I gain no new fans. This is always Tucker's shtick. He says a bunch of left-wing stuff, and then he throws out sort of a right-wing, red meat, red herring. And then he goes on his merry way. By the way, in this interview, he says that he would deport Seb Gorka, a foreign policy advisor to the president, but that he would not deport Mahmoud Khalil, the Hamas supporter. So that's who Tucker Carlson is. So here's the thing. Tucker has no intention of starting a third party. That is not his actual game. He's not going to do that. He's too lazy. He has another game that he has in mind. I'll explain that game in just 1 second. You might think that because I'm at home, my internet...
I mean, no, like, I do think that it's unlikely that Tucker Carlson is actually going to follow through and launch a third party, but it would be very, very funny if he did.
So to take the most obvious comp here, the Reform Party, right? The Reform Party started off as an afterthought by Ross Perot. So Ross Perot ran as an independent candidate in 1992, and he was focused largely on the evils of NAFTA and the idea that global economics was bad and all the rest of this. And then he withdrew in July, and then he jumped back in October, and he ended up with 19% of the popular vote, which was the highest percentage for a third party since Teddy Roosevelt's Bull Moose Party in 19...
Calling Tucker Carlson left-wing anything is wild. Well, that's the thing. That's how, like, conservatives fight each other. They each accuse one another of being on the left.
1912. Well, in 95, he launched the actual Reform Party, and this was a giant dud. It was an attempt to build out an actual party infrastructure. Now, this is very hard. The United States is built for a two-party system because to build a national infrastructure is extremely costly. It is very difficult. Perot ended up winning about 8% of the national popular vote in 1996. And then you saw kind of sporadic reform candidates who would occasionally win. So in 1998, Jesse Ventura, the wrestler, was elected governor of Minnesota on the reform ticket. But by 2000, there was
he legalized fireworks here, so that was pretty cool, I guess. A lot more people are missing their fingers now, though, unfortunately. But legal fireworks, pretty cool for some people.
There was a big split in the Reform Party, and Pat Buchanan was the nominee. He had left the Republican Party in ire after running and losing in the primaries in 1992. Jesse Ventura then left the party, denouncing it as dysfunctional. And by the time Buchanan ran in 2000, he won 0.5% of the popular vote, and many of the Reform Party voters basically merged back into the GOP. So here's the thing. I hope Tucker launches a third party. Why? Because it'll get crushed. Third parties get crushed. I would love to see a clean referendum on Tucker's perverse views, but he's not going to do that. That's not actually the game. Here's the game. Tucker knows, Tucker sees that Republicans are probably going to have a bad 26. What he wants is to say that the reason that Republicans had a bad 26 is because they alienated key people like him. And thus...
Yeah, I mean, again, this seems really surface level. Like, these were the best attacks you had on him, Ben. Like, yeah, your side, you purport that your side speaks for the silent majority. Tucker Carlson is claiming his side speaks for the silent majority. And, like, neither of you will ever be able to really back that up. But, again, just, this is very political slap fight bullshit.
If you wish to win in 28, you need to shift the entire policy-making direction of the party back in Tucker Carlson's direction. Tucker is not launching the Reform Party. Tucker is launching the DSA, or the TSA, the Tucker Socialists of America.
I thought he was going to make an anti-trans joke. I felt it in my bones. And now and now I don't know what to do with it. I've been blue-boned.
His goal is for Republicans to lose in 2026. He wants, he's not hiding the ball here. He has said he's not voting Republican. He wants Republicans to lose. He is here to demoralize conservatives prior to 2026. That is the goal. The worse Republicans do.
You know what the world needs? Heated rivalry politics, starring Ben and Tucker.
In a world where two boys just wanted to get big in politics, their alliance was seen as far-fetched. But Tucker, we can't be doing this. It won't be acceptable. Shh. Of course it'll be acceptable. That's my Tucker Carlson voice. I think it's very good. Mwah, 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 mwah. That's right. The political heated rivalry politics coming to HBO 2027. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Mwah. It's us. They both turn to the camera. We're the ones who crash Grindr every year. And then it cuts to black. AI deepfake? Yeah. Their co-star is, of course, Tilly Norwood.
The more Tucker can then try and pretend that the reason Republicans lost is because they disappointed voters like Tucker Carlson. Now, again, the reality is that if Republicans lose in 26, there will be a lot of factors. It's an off-year election. Trump is unpopular and has been unpopular for legitimately a year at this point. But if Republicans don't do well in 2026, it's not because Tucker and his 5 friends didn't vote for Republicans. But that's the entire game. The entire game is to say, I'm launching a third party because there's so much anger. There is so much upset that my third party is a legitimate force in American politics. But he's not going to do that because that would actually test the proposition. He's not going to do that. That is the goal. Don't you see?
You still can't unsee the mustache? Neither can I. I've cursed all of you with this knowledge.
Get it? You need us, Republican Party. You must shift all of your policy prescriptions over toward the pro-Putin, pro-Iran, pro-China, anti-America side. You have to do that. What Tucker is doing here is not launching some sort of rival to the Republican Party. He's standing outside the Republican Party and then saying that because they didn't hand it to him, that's why we lost. That's the goal. And that is just yet another reason why we actually have to fight. Because people who care about the country, people who deeply care about those fundamental principles of America, the stuff we're going to be celebrating this weekend, we actually have to fight two forces. One is the left, along with the DSA, and the other is the force of their twisted allies on the woke right, who are holding hands with them, who are hugging them. There is a reason why.
God, the woke right. It's so stupid. There's not an alliance between the left and the woke right. We all know that the woke right isn't woke and that they're full of bullshit. But also, I like that Ben's just like, don't worry, guys, we'll fight this two-front war. And historically, that has always worked out well for anyone who's attempted it. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Fade out. In a world where two men exist on two different sides of a political spectrum, we can't. We're from two different worlds. You're from a world that it views the economy very differently from the world that I live in. Shh. We view things very differently, Ben Shapiro. But I think that still means we can work together. As long as one issue doesn't come up and get between us. Tucker. Why do they call you Tucker? I looked at some paperwork and that isn't your last name. I'll show you. Oh my. Coming this fall to HBO, it's Heated Rivalry Politics. Mr. Carlson, I'll just call you Tucker. I have to stop. I have to stop. Any thoughts on the upcoming Minnesota governor's race? I mean, my bet is on Amy Klobuchar. The Klobs machine is very powerful. But I will say that I do think that folks in the primary should consider voting for Kobe. I think that Kobe is like a great candidate. Interviewed her on the show. Kobe Lane's campaign has been like doing really good outreach to the tribes and to a lot of folks that get overlooked typically in these particular, Democratic primaries. So I would recommend checking out check out Kobe Lane's campaign. I have a few videos on my channel covering her in particular, along with an interview. It's one of the only interviews, by the way, that I've seen with the Lane campaign. So if you want some insight into local politics, I did a little bit of legwork in order to put together some content for you. Anyway, folks, I do like seeing Ben Shapiro scared, but it's kind of like one of those things. It's like, for me, it's like watching the Austin Powers clip where Austin is driving like a smoosher machine, like one of those rolling machines that just like weighs things down. He's driving it at a guy who's like screaming, and Austin is screaming, and then they're like shown to be like only a few feet away from each other, but it only moves at like 1 centimeter per hour. Yeah, the steamroller. This is basically the political equivalent of that. This is basically the political equivalent of it. Like, we all been watching this steamroller coming towards Ben Shapiro for years. And it's just interesting seeing exactly how this is all playing out. God. When will he get crushed? Well, you know, there is some there is some rumors that the Daily Wire is going bankrupt. You know, like they've taken some big swings, but their funding is drying up. So we'll see. But anyway, folks, if you got anything out of that, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. Comments really help in the algorithm. And folks, get organized. Join your local Dems. Join your local DSA. It makes Ben Shapiro very, very scared. And if you need help taking your first steps into your local Dems, into your local DSA, we can help you. Join our Discord. Reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. Reach out to GamerG for help with your local DSA. And folks, last but not least, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy lingerie that's non-tucking. Go check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com. We just restocked everything. All the sizes are in, and also we go up to a 48 band size. So if you're looking for something like that, we got it. Also, link is down in the doobly-doo. Let's keep on going. There we go. I don't know where the DSA even is. That's because you got to look up your local chapter. DSA is largely driven by people in the communities where it springs up. If you are a long ways away from a local DSA, you can actually start another DSA branch more local to yourself in order to organize in your area. Can we join PSL too? I'm skeptical based on what I know about PSL. One of the reasons I don't advocate for people to join it. I also just haven't seen PSL get its shit together to really do anything on the scale of what DSA is doing. Let's see here. I would advocate for like Working Families Party. Working Families Party does good shit. Okay. All right. Y'all ready to jump into another segment? After we click this button. Go, go, go. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click button. Click button. Click button. Click button. Click Give me one reason to support the Dems after genocide. Because by getting into the Democratic Party and gaining power within its mechanisms, you can, in fact, be one of the voices in the room to basically deny power to those who would support genocide. Not advocating you to blindly support Democrats. I'm advocating for you to seize the machinery, the means of political production within the Democratic Party in order to save the party from the complete collapse of capitalism and save us from that collapse as well. All right. Let's just take a quick look at the numbers here. How we all doing? How we doing? How we doing? You guys hitting the like button? I've been telling you to. but I don't know if you have or not. Real quick. All right. So there are currently in the YouTube chat right now 400 plus people watching. We haven't cracked 300 likes. Shame on you. Shame on horizontal chat. Shame on your cows. All right. Let's take a quick look over here. Look, vertical chat has 13 viewers right now, but 56 likes. That would be like horizontal chat having, 400 people watching, but, 1,200 likes. You guys really need to get on vertical chat level. My God. I can't like it twice, boss. It shocks me. It's true. All right. I am going to go pee, and then we are going to take a look at what Mom Donnie's been doing. We're going to take a look at some Michael Knowles, and we'll see how we're feeling after that. I need to pee. I will be back in a couple minutes. Enjoy the music while I'm gone.
For as long as we can remember, the working people of New York have been told that power does not belong in their hands. Fingers bruised, palms calloused, knuckles scarred with kitchen burns. These are not hands that have been allowed to hold power. And yet, over the last 12 months, you have dared to reach for something greater. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. New York, tonight you have delivered a mandate for change, a mandate for a new kind of politics, a mandate for a city we can afford, and a mandate for a government that delivers exactly that. Thank you to those so often forgotten who made this movement their own. Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties. This campaign is about people like Wesley, people like the woman I met on the BX-33 years ago, people like the taxi driver I went on a 15-day hunger strike with outside of City Hall. My brother, we are in City Hall now.
Rat is this. Normal rat's like this. That's the normal rat. Normal rat's like this. That's the normal rat.
Normal rats like this. That's a normal rat. Normal rats like this. That's a normal rat. Normal rats like this. That's a normal rat. Normal rats like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Sniffs. Like this, like this, like this, like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Sniffs. Point the wire, 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 point the wire. You are now a normal rat. Normal rats like this. That's 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 a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Sniffs. Like this, like this, like this, like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Sniffs. Point the wire, 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 point the wire. You are now a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Sniffs. Like this, like this, like this, like this. That's a normal rat. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Sniffs. Point the wire, 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 point the wire. You are now a normal rat.
Hell yeah. How y'all doing, folks? Glad to be in a community made of such normal rats. For the noble normal rat. Within it rests a heart worth more than 1,000 non-normal rats. Good night, y'all. I'm going to normal rat sleep. Nice. All right, let's do this. So, folks, obviously, every single time Zoran Mamdani announces an initiative, conservatives have basically been saying, no you can't, you're gonna fail. Can't wait to see all of the failures that are you in just a handful of months. And keep in mind here that, frustratingly for conservatives, Zoran Mamdani, as a socialist, open socialist, in a position of pretty enormous power, has been able to rise to the occasion and get everything that he has promised done. And today that culminated in him giving a speech at a podium shaped like a bus. It's genuinely adorable. It's genuinely really adorable, guys. But yeah, he's making the buses faster, baby.
Good morning, everyone. It is an honor to be here with so many friends, partners, advocates, and community members, transit riders, and public servants. And also an incredible remix of Madonna's 4 Minutes. Thanks to your tireless efforts, we are here in downtown Brooklyn to say something millions of New Yorkers have been waiting to hear. The next stop for New York City is better buses.
Hell yeah. We'll call them
And I want to
super
acknowledge
buses.
that we are here joined by a number of leaders at every level of government. We have our Governor, Kathy Hochul, who is joining us today. Our MTA Chair, Janno Lieber.
Oh yeah, Ensig, there's a building that within Manhattan that lost structural support integrity. It hasn't collapsed, but they're trying to do what they can to restabilize the building, and it was evacuated. It's scary. Scary.
Our City Council Transportation Chair, Sean Abreu. As you've heard from our Deputy Mayor for Operations, Julia Curson. Our DOT Commissioner, Mike Flynn. Our NYPD Transportation Chief, Obi. And we have from Riders Alliance, Betsy Plum and Andrea Alballeros Abdullah. And I also want to acknowledge our Borough President of Manhattan, Brad Hoylman Siegel.
I want you also to note that when Zoran Mamdani is making these public appearances, I know it can seem kind of weird that like he's listing an awful lot of names. He's doing that in order to forge like alliances. That is him playing the political game by effectively saying, see all these people, they're associated with me. It's something that like he's doing to build long-term power. Because when you help people like that, when you remember them by name, they wind up remembering you when you need a favor, right? It's a big deal. He's playing this game extremely well.
Council members Alexa Aviles and Amanda Farias, and our Brooklyn Deputy Borough President Kim Council. Let's give them a round of applause.
Yeah, he's making sure that everyone is included and remembered, which is just like a nice thing to do, but it's also a very politically savvy thing to do.
It is such a pleasure to be here alongside all of them as we come together to make an announcement that speaks to a singular truth that every person who calls our city home knows. In New York City, time is money. And we are going to give New Yorkers some of that time back. 6 minutes, to be precise. So to illustrate what 6 minutes saved really means, I have decided to keep the rest of my speech to 6 minutes exactly. We're going to use this stopwatch to show that the clock starts now. Now, for decade after decade, the working people of our city who rely on the bus have had their precious time treated with disdain. New York's bus system carries more riders than America's next 4 largest bus systems combined. And those riders commute on the slowest buses in the nation, many of which crawl at an average of 5 miles per hour. Too many New Yorkers walk faster to the bus stop than the bus they finally get on actually travels. Too many lives are planned around delays and commutes. Too many communities have demanded better. A devoted 34th Street busway, a redesign.
Like this is the shit that actually matters. If you can give people 6 more minutes in their day, 6 more minutes to snooze, 6 more minutes to relax, 6 more minutes of just raw time that they can do whatever the fuck they want with, like that's huge. That adds up. And like he's doing it with a flair.
Design of Fordham Road in the Bronx, a rapid bus corridor down Flatbush Avenue. And yet, despite all of the work of so many that are here and even beyond this event, they have found that their voices have been ignored by those who can deliver change. That ends today. Our streets are public spaces. How we design them reflects who we believe they are for. Today, we make a decision that puts working New Yorkers first. Now, I am proud to stand alongside Governor Kathy Hochul this morning as we launch our bus action plan, Next Stop. This historic investment will make our buses faster and more reliable for millions of New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs. The Department of Transportation will work in partnership with the MTA to transform 50 priority bus routes citywide, some of which are currently the slowest in the city. many of which serve neighborhoods with few other transit options, and all of which deserve better. Now, here in Brooklyn, we will deliver the first of 5 rapid bus corridors by 2030 on Flatbush Avenue. Now, Flatbush Avenue is a corridor used by more than 130,000 riders every day, but slowed by some of the city's worst gridlock. The first phase of Flatbush is already underway and includes center-running bus lanes and new bus boarding islands.
Let's go!
Future phases of the project include fully separated bus lanes, stations with level boarding, and fast, frequent service guaranteed. Now, Flatbush is only the beginning. Northern Boulevard in Queens, 116th Street in Manhattan, White Plains Road in the Bronx, Utica and Church Avenues in Brooklyn, Victory Boulevard on Staten Island. These streets and dozens of other routes across the 5 boroughs will receive dedicated rapid service and infrastructure improvements that finally put riders first.
This is the kind of thing where, like, a lot of folks in, like, political establishment circles will look down their nose at this particular kind of politicking. But the reality is, oh no. What do you mean? People notice. What do you mean that people notice, like, the changes that impact their day-to-day lives, like the buses they ride? What do you mean people notice the things like, oh, you know, I can make it to the infrastructure that allows me to even get on the bus in the first place? Like, dog, that's hundreds of that. Like, when a system like that changes for the better, just that one line that he's talking about, 130,000 people per day experience that as a reality. When you are talking about the entire city, that's millions of people, folks, every day that engage with this transformed system that he is effectively stamping his name on and the names of anyone else who is helping him. It's a really, really big deal. He plays this game very well.
Part of that means changing how buses stop and start with transit signal priority, queue jumps, and yes, all-door boarding.
Hell yeah.
These improvements may sound technical, but they deliver change that is anything but. Less waiting, faster trips, and buses that arrive when they're supposed to. We are also making sure that bus lanes stay clear. By 2028, all 50 corridors will have automated camera enforcement because these lanes should do exactly what their name promises. They should be for buses. Now, we are not just improving our bus lanes, we are...
Honestly,
in all honesty,
I support that.
It is somewhat depressing to see Zoran's successes, because it is New Yorkers finally receiving the dignity they deserve.
Yeah, it's depressing insofar that it took so long to get here, and the changes are so necessary and so overdue.
Improving our buses too. The MTA will replace 40% of our aging fleet with 2,500 brand new vehicles.
Let's go.
Taken together, these investments will increase speeds along our 50 priority corridors by 20% on average. That means riders will save up to 6 minutes every trip, up to 12 minutes every commute.
That's a big deal. 12 minutes every day? It's an hour of your time every week.
I'm just going to check. We have 1 minute and 53 seconds left for me to hit this goal. Now, if you take the bus to work, that adds up fast. Within 6 months, you will have spent 24 fewer hours on the bus. By the time a year rolls around, you'll have saved more than 2 days of commuting time. That means breakfast with your family. It means having the time to argue balls and strikes at your kid's Little League game. It means getting home for bedtime. It means agreeing with your friends that Egypt were robbed yesterday. Above all, it means time returned to New Yorkers who don't have nearly enough of it. And as we do so, we are also ensuring that the time spent on our bus system is a little more pleasant. No longer will the majority of bus stops in New York City be a rusty pole and slab of concrete. That is not good enough. By the end of this year, we will install 100 new bus shelters citywide and 300 more by 2031.
Let's
we
go.
will add benches and leaning bars at 875 bus stops each year with seating guaranteed at every single bus stop in the city by 2035.
Let's go!
And we will plant more trees around stops to provide shade and protection from the elements.
Hell yeah!
At every stop of this work, the working people who ride our buses every day will shape the decisions that we make. Input from street outreach and community workshops will be incorporated during the design and development phases. And even after construction is completed, we will continue to solicit feedback to make sure that each project is delivering exactly what we promised. Years from today, when we take measure of whether this plan succeeded, we will calculate it by how many New Yorkers get home earlier, by how many buses arrived when they were supposed to, by how many working people got some relief from the heat and the rain, and by how I can't even speak as fast as the savings that we're going to receive. Because what we're going to see is that New Yorkers will spend 6 fewer minutes on the bus and 6 more minutes living their lives.
I like that he fucked up his own challenge, but he still has the riz to be able to like save it.
Because I want a city where Christopher Leon Johnson has enough time to come and yell at a press conference. I don't want him to be stuck on the bus on the way to the press conference. That's the city I want. A city where you can heckle your public officials because the bus is running on time. And our streets should work like the working New Yorkers who use them.
Dog, he's so smooth. He's so smooth. He's incorporating his fucking haters into his speeches. He even knows the guy who shows up to hate him for his speeches by name. Are you fucking kidding me? Like the amount of riz is incredible.
Quickly and efficiently. With this Buckshot action plan, we are taking a huge step towards a future where our buses run as fast as everything else in this city we love. One where every New Yorker's commute is defined by ease and dignity. Thank you. This is for Christopher. This is for every New Yorker who takes the bus. And this is for everyone who knows that a world-class city deserves world-class buses. Thank you so much.
God, he's so good at this. He's so good at this. But I will also say, you know, there is a lot of there's a lot of maneuvering right now, specifically from Zoran Mamdani, to position himself in the movement that he is building survives and moves forward and continues to flourish no matter what happens on the national level. It's really, really cool to see. It's really incredible. And the fact that he's actually delivering, he has actually approached all of this with a political, you know, insight in order to move ahead and actually secure victory here. It's really cool. It's how, like, the intentionality of this entire campaign, and it's not even a campaign anymore, administration, it has been incredibly effective. And like, I have no doubt that he intends to move far beyond just being mayor of New York City. But we'll see. We'll see. But this is what people like Ben Shapiro or Michael Knowles or Tucker Carlson, this is the kind of person, you know, your Glenn Becks, they're all terrified of him because he's a socialist who's doing the one thing that they cannot abide, which is delivering on campaign promises. Like, guys, the main counter argument that I grew up with to socialism my entire life was, well, it's a great idea on paper, but you can't actually do it when you put it into practice. That was the big argument, which is that it's a nice sounding idea, but it fails. I was taught that by my economics teachers. I took college level economics courses in high school. And let me tell you, there wasn't anything else that really backed that up. It was just taken as evident that, oh, well, socialism fails. It can't provide what it says on the tin. Well, when that narrative starts getting disproved, that is a huge danger to the establishment. It is a huge danger to corporations. It is a huge danger to our entire mode of economic production. And, well, the longer that Zoran succeeds, the more other people are going to start wondering, hey, why can't we do that here too? And they're going to start finding out that there's no reason that the kind of society that Zoran Mamdani and his team are building in New York City, there is no reason you cannot build it right in your own backyard. So, all that being said, folks, if you got anything out of that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the dangers of fast and free buses, and also get organized, folks. Join your local Dems, join your local DSA. You can, in fact, create your very own version of Zoran Mamdani right in your own backyard. You just have to go out and politically organize to do it. All right? Join your local Dems, join your local DSA, kick out those corporate Dems that are taking money from big corporations, and get folks in to power within your local Democratic Party, within your local DSA, who are actually going to fight for working class people. We can help you do that. Join our Discord. Reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. Reach out to GamerG for help with your local DSA. And we can help you get organized. So, folks, go do that. It's vitally important as we get closer and closer to these midterms and to the 2028 general. All that being said, folks, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy lingerie that's non-tucking. Check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com. Link down in the doobly-doo. Let's keep on going. Woof. Let's go. Socialism just doesn't work is like the God argument in things like feudalism and aristocracies. Well, yeah, it's just like the conventional wisdom, you know? And even at the time, I was just kind of like, well, that's, if it's a nice idea on paper, then the goal should be to implement the nice idea so that it's good, not just on paper, but in practice. Like, that's what we've done for the entirety of human history. Why wouldn't that be the case here? Also, folks, we are currently at 403 subs. We are getting closer and closer to our next brain rot adventure. And also, folks, we did it. We've been going for like 3 hours. If you've been enjoying the show, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also consider dropping those subs, donos, memberships, super chats, etc. Get that BWA energy flowing, and get us closer and closer to our sub goal. So, folks, thank you for helping to make this show possible. And remember, click the goddamn like button. Go. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click button. Click button. Click button. Click button. Click button. There we go. one of the reasons you're seeing so much hate towards the left right now is because everyone who opposes Zoran realizes he's not going down easy. Exactly. You know? It is one of those things where it's like they got nothing on him and he's got a solid like 30 to 40 years of politics in front of him. You know? Like, good luck. He's he's a true believer, and I don't think they're gonna get him on anything. You know, that's like I don't think if they could have had dirt on him by now, they would have. You know, and they don't got shit. Okay. Do 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 do. All right. All right, folks. You guys ready to jump into some more content? Is it Michael time? It's Michael in time.
The spirits like to convey the message that you should mentally see me as Gandalf.
All right, folks. Let's do this. I'm so tired. I'm so tired, and I'm so stressed. All right. Indubitably. Oh my. All right, here we go. So, folks, sometimes when I'm prepping my show, I just see something that really stands out to me. And I had to know what the content of the video that Michael Knowles put out titled GOP launches a secret weapon on libs, goth baddies. And, you know, I unfortunately had this curiosity, and I now must inflict it all upon you.
Show is sometimes right. I teased this a little bit yesterday. I have to get to it. He has been saying for weeks now that I need to cover the rise of the goth baddie. I said, what are you talking about, the goth baddie? He was saying, no, Michael, my whole social media feed is just being inundated with really good-looking goth girls. It's a social phenomenon. I said, no, that's a your feed phenomenon. I said, I don't know what kind of sick, perverted, freakish things you look up on your computer, but I'm not seeing that anywhere. I said, that's not a real trend. And it takes a big, handsome guy wearing a red, white, and blue plaid shirt to admit when he's wrong, because the new star GOP congressional candidate coming out of Colorado is, in fact, I think it's fair to say, nothing lecherous in the observation, she's a goth baddie. This is Kelly Dennison. She just won the Colorado 2nd congressional primary, and she is not your typical Republican, at least in the way she looks.
I'm dying inside.
Lol,
I'm just
I
dying
saw this
inside.
earlier too. This is some real clown shit. Please use this for bourbon. Or therapy bourbon.
I might need it for therapy bourbon, Paladin. This is truly awful. Also, thank you for the 17 tier 1 subs, bringing us to 420 towards our goal. Thank you very much. But yeah, so this is the goth baddie that Michael Knowles is talking about, and can I just say that, of course, like any subgenre, subgroup of people that you're talking about, you're gonna find conservatives who adopt the aesthetic, but that's not a goth baddie. And I know this because goths in general are cool and chill as fuck. And if you are somehow in that community and you actually hate gay people and you actually think that like LGBTQ people shouldn't have the right to exist or whatever, Like, you don't get traction in those settings. So, like, this is like somebody borrowed the aesthetic, but you'll never be truly goth, but because to be goth is a mindset. It's a mindset that includes fundamentally acceptance. Also, I'm seeing some people commenting that she's more of a scene girl, and that might be the case. Honestly, the eyebrow work is making the case.
She's a 27-year-old massage therapist. Her picture that is being posted around in the news reports of her victory was actually taken in front of St. Joseph Catholic Parish. Great signs. I was in Fort Collins this year. And she probably doesn't have a chance to win the race. I think the district is D plus 20 or something like that. But she won the primary. She has now won the hearts and minds, the fascination of at least many Republicans on the internet. And it made me have to contemplate whether or not Mr. Davies was seeing a trend and why it would be that a goth chick would be a conservative Republican. I've noticed this. I travel around the country, go to a lot of churches when I'm around the country, go to a lot of events, and I've noticed this. I did know, not on my social media feeds, but in real life, I have been noticing more and more goth girls, like the kind of thing you saw.
That's because like the early 2000s are coming back again. Like the 90s were back, and then the early 2000s are coming back. Like I grew up in like fundamentalist Christianity, all right? And like there were definitely some like edgy cool kids, whatever, who like adopted scene aesthetics or goth aesthetics in church. It's like a method of rebellion, but they still go to the church, like, so it's not like that big of a rebellion, but like I don't know. Michael Knowles is being real weird about this.
In the late 90s, white makeup, dark hair, some piercings, black eyelashes, black clothing. I have been seeing them crop up more and more, and you would often imagine them being on the left or maybe even the radical left if they weren't totally politically apathetic. But I've been noticing them more and more on the right. And why is that? In a way, it makes perfect sense because the goth aesthetic rose out of the Victorian era. The best explanation I've heard for the rise of the goth aesthetic, which really took on prominence in America during the 80s, punk, post-punk, then Hot Topic kind of commercialized it. But it comes from the Victorian era because Queen Victoria spent a very, very long time mourning the death of her husband, Prince Albert. So she wore a lot of black, and that's what it draws on. And it draws.
I think what he's saying is that we're in late stage pick me, so you can't really make internet money as a blonde tratty. So some girls are trying to be big titty goth GF conservatives.
I mean, like it makes sense to me, not from the way that Michael Knowles is talking about it, but from the perspective of the fact that like, what were the big fetish icons of like conservatives for like the last 15 years? Oh, like trad wives, right? Well, now you're getting like slightly older Republicans coming in, and they're like or slightly younger Republicans coming in, and they're like, no. We weren't raised to want trad wives. We were raised to want big titty goth GFs. Like, that's what's happening here. It's not, it is literally the kind of parasitic way conservative fashion latches on to edgier movements and recycles it. Like that's what you're seeing here. It's kind of like how rural America is like 10 years behind the fashion of different metropolitan areas around the country. Like, yeah. But it's also a result of the fact that like what could kids buy for cheap at thrift stores in like the 80s? Oh, that's right, a bunch of like terribly old garments. Cool. And then they were able to dress up in black stuff. They were able to get it for cheap. A lot of people's cheapest clothes would have been their like funeral attire, so a lot of black stuff was easy to come across. Like it's not difficult to figure this out, to figure out the trajectory of this subculture.
Draws on other cultural influences from that era, from the 19th century. The Gothic novels, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. The kind of culture that is about enchantment, the kind of culture that is about the supernatural, things that are a little uncanny, eerie, numinous, a little bit spooky, the kind of culture that takes religion seriously. What's interesting about the goth aesthetic is in the goth aesthetic, you could see someone wearing a pentagram or a crucifix, totally opposite religious views, but nevertheless taking religion seriously, whether it be.
I can assure you that there are plenty of goths in the goth community who will wear crucifixes, not because they are religiously Christian, but because they view it as kind of funny compared with their aesthetic,
In an occult and rather bad religious form, or in a good religious form, which is in the form of Christianity. Even the word goth coming from Gothic,
yeah, it's ironic. It's a joke. It's like a big inside joke. Some people do upside down crosses, of course, but some don't. I've known people in the goth community to get old rosaries to use as accessories. It's not out of respect necessarily.
The Goths who sacked Rome, but then the great Gothic cathedrals, and then into the Gothic novels of the era. And I thought, in a way, this makes perfect sense because we live in this world that has been so disenchanted. We live in this world where everything is so clinical, everything is mediated by technology, where everything seems so clinical, so scientific, so plain. Our longings, our desires, our hopes, and our dreams, they're all reduced to chemicals firing off in our brains or some other mechanical processes. And human beings realize that doesn't really fully explain the world. It doesn't even come close.
It kind of does, though. Which parts do you think it doesn't explain?
It doesn't explain the most important things in the world. And so I think we're living in an era. This is.
Wait, like what?
Also why you're seeing a big return to religion, and especially the more sacramental and traditional forms of religion, the liturgical kind of religion, the smells and bells kind of religion. You're seeing people recognize that we know that the world really is enchanted, and we need to re-enchant ourselves.
Yes. Don't worry, guys. Science doesn't explain everything because you need to recognize the enchantments of the world and the enchantments of your own body and mortal flesh. Dog, this sounds really weird. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds weird as hell.
With it. We're living post stupid new atheism. We're now in a world where we start to take religion and spiritual matters seriously. Even those Gothic novels, they're very romantic. It coincides with the Romantic era. And we live in a world where we're told we're just supposed to have, clinical partnerships with our, I'm going to propose a marriage to my partner because we're really good. We help each other and we're all going to just do the dishes and we're going to be exactly co-equals, undifferentiated. And it's just so lame.
What? Being an equal to your partner is lame? What? This guy's over here being two people being married, both being willing to do work around the house? Impossible. Couldn't ever happen. It's a bastardization of everything it means to get married. Are you joking, sir? What was that voice making fun of exactly? Healthy marriages where you and your partner love each other and are willing to sacrifice and do things for one another in an equal kind of fashion? Oh no, the horror. The horror of both loving each other and putting one another first. What a terrible fate. This absolute wiener. This guy is an absolute wiener. It's true.
Yes, Daddy.
Sometimes I wish the elderly would just die.
Essentially his morals.
And we want romance. We want to be that couple climbing up the Empire State Building, taking a knee and proposing on top of a needle above New York City. You know, so we are living at a time. Maybe I'm.
Wait, no, you don't. You don't want that. You explicitly dislike people breaking laws, specifically property crimes. Y'all fucking hate that.
Reading too deeply into this congressional primary candidate, but I don't think I am. I think it's indicative of a broader trend. We're in a time that calls for enchantment and romance and religion. We are in an age that calls for the return of the goth baddie, and the goth baddie will not be on the left. The goth baddie will be on the side that is looking for a return of those things, and that is conservatives and Republicans generally. Okay, now.
Yes. Exactly. We must of course herald the return of the goth baddie. However, I would like to remind Michael Knowles of a little fact that he forgot. After he earlier brought up the existence of the Visigoths, the Goths who showed up, and the Goths who helped fell Rome. Perhaps the goth baddies that are arriving are but the harbingers of our doom. The end of American Empire. The goth baddies, they bring it in their wake. You can't take our goth baddies, they take you, exactly. The goth baddies will destroy America. And that is what Michael Knowles values most of all. What a freeze frame for this guy. Goodness sakes. Jack Goth cosplay when? I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I want to do some kind of cosplay soon. It's been a while since I did a silly outfit. Anyway, all that being said, folks, Michael Knowles is a silly little Billy, and he's out here trying to tell women that, like, you should just work through your, when your lady bits hurt, you should just, like, work through the pain. Women entering the workforce was a mistake. Like, when he makes those arguments, he's silly as fuck too, but, like, this is genuinely insane.
In Soviet USA, goth baddies rule you.
He's literally out here talking about how goth baddies are actually conservative now because one guy he knows was talking to him about that, and then, like, a lady with dark eyelashes won a primary in Colorado. That's the evidence. It's very stupid. It's very stupid. Michael, no less indeed. All right. God, I'm getting like black-pilled on all of the unreality being spun by the conservative movement right now. Also, folks, if you got anything out of that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Goths versus Visigoths. Which had the baddest baddies of them all? Also, just have to say, like, part of what makes Goths attractive is that they would never hang out with bigots. That's like a key component of being a baddie. Not being a racist sack of shit. You know? Like, you can be as, like, physically attractive as you want, but if you are, like, a card-carrying member of the KKK, like, instantly you become one of the ugliest people I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't know. Just kind of seems that by definition, goth baddies cannot be MAGA. Not true. I've seen legit wife-beating racists get girlfriends. I mean, they're not attractive. They're not attractive girlfriends because they're also horrible racists. Like, that kind of precludes attractiveness in my book. All right, folks. Anyway, get organized, join your local Dems, join your local DSA, and last but not least, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Go check it out. Link down in the description. It's non-tucking lingerie. Oof. If you let a racist come to your coffee shop daily, it can become a racist coffee shop. True? I'm more like an NPC in my own life. Then stop being that. You have the capability to not be that. So if you don't like it, stop being it. Dress like you are the protagonist in an old school RPG. You know, like, fuck it. Do what you want. What does that even mean? It means, like, dress how you want to dress. Be the coolest version of yourself. I don't. Everyone hates me, so it's better to be an NPC. If everyone hates you already anyway, like, just be yourself. Boo. I saw a cultist cloak advertised to me, and I'm gonna assume it's a sign. Ah, yes, finally. The time has come. It's insane how differently people treat you if you're walking with a little bit of confidence. It's true. You just gotta step like you own a little bit of the world that you're stepping on, you know? Like, walk like you're worth $1 million and people will be happy to loan you 10 grand. You know what I'm saying? All right. Folks, I think I'm going to call it a night, but tomorrow we're going to get to the Michigan Senate Democratic primary debate. I'm very excited about it. I think it'll be good, but it's also quite lengthy. Starts. It's about an hour long, and I would say do it tonight, but I'm still recovering from yesterday. Folks, appreciate all y'all. If you would like to support the show, click the goddamn button. You know what to do. And I'll see you all tomorrow. An hour, that's nothing. We've been going for about 4 hours.
Go, go, go. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click button. Click 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 click
And that's true. An hour for a debate is not that long. I actually think that's a great length of time for a debate. But if I'm going to cover it, it's going to take us 2 hours to cover. And if it's 2:34 in the morning right now, I'm not getting to bed until 5:36. So I'm not going to do that to myself. And instead, I'm going to do the healthy decision and we will cover it tomorrow. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.